Okay, let's start.
Okay. Dr. Sir, please.
Good afternoon. Myself, Dr. Shantanurath. I'm advisor to OCF. On behalf of Odisha Corporate Foundation, I warmly welcome our distinguished panelists and founder and patrons of OCF and the moderators for today's webinar. In fact, today is indeed a very auspicious day. As all of us know, this is celebrated as Raksha Bandhan, and simultaneously in Odisha, this is also celebrated as the birthday of Lord Balabhadra or Balaram, who is the elder brother of Lord Jagannath. So let me take this opportunity to wish happy Raksha Bandhan to all our sisters present in this forum. It's pleasing to note that we have an impressive array of very knowledgeable speaker, Dr. Vijay Kumar Sahu, who is the regional manager of National Research Development Corporation, Government of India, and who is based in Vizag. And we have also another impressive speaker, Mr. Hiranmaya Mahanta, who is the CEO of iHub. And incidentally, he also happens to be the advisor of GTU and Innovation Council to Gujarat government. And we have with us also Mr. Anil Patra, who is the financial planner and investment consultant for WAVES OCF. And joined by, again, Ms. Sangeeta Mahapatra, who is the managing director and foundation of Bangalore-based startup. She has been associated with us, in all our events. Let me again welcome all of you to this webinar. And we must thank, in fact, OCF, to bring all of us together, especially all Odia, son of the soil, whether they are based outside Odisha or they are based outside India. So it's a very good feeling at this challenging time to be together and speaking together. And we have an interesting topic coming up, which is the need of intellectual property right protection and innovation management for startups and MSMEs to pursue the dream of our Honorable Prime Minister towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, which is building a strong and self-reliant India. Friends, those members who are very new to Odisha Corporate Foundation, especially I am very happy to note that there are a good number of students and aspiring entrepreneurs. So it's very important for you to understand what OCF is all about, what do we do, where we stand today, and where do we go from here. As all of us know, Odisha is a land of plenty of natural resources, minerals. It's a storehouse of talent, excellent craftsmen, artisans, intellectual capital. And Bhubaneswar happens to be one of the education hub of the country. And in a challenging time like this, our Honorable Prime Minister has given a clarion call to build an Atmanirbhar Bharat, which is self-reliant India. At this point of time, Odisha Corporate Foundation is doing a wonderful job by bringing all these students, academia, industrialists, CEOs of Odisha origin, and which provides a very unique platform to all of us to pitch in with our ideas to build a new, vibrant, industrial, resurgent Odisha. Friends, the objective, the goal of Odisha Corporate Foundation is to make sure that how we harness the power of the collective wisdom of all senior corporate executives, academicians, and bureaucrats, technocrats through this networking platform, and how we provide mentorship to the budding and aspirational entrepreneurs. And at the same time, it is very important for all of us that many students, in the absence of
सर ते अनम्यूट करून तू अनम्यूट
अच्छा हेलो
सर कौन तू
हाँ हाँ तो बिगिनिंग रो कहबे ना अनम्यूट हे गला
ना ना जस्ट अनम्यूट हेतला जस्ट अनम्यूट हेतला
okay I think okay I'm sorry for the inconvenience yes so this is a time when the students, the youth of the nation, in fact they are looking for opportunities, they're looking for directions as to how they will build their futures. And I think the time has come. I think the clarion call of the Prime Minister is to how to, instead of looking for jobs, instead of being job seeker, how we transform ourselves into job creator, wealth creator. So in order to do that, I think all of us have some dreams within us. Every one of us, every young person, they dream as to how to build their future, how to build an industry. And I am sure that given an opportunity, given an enabling environment, I think the latent potential, the untapped potential of the youth can be tapped through this Odisha Corporate Foundation Forum. Friends, having said that, I think Odisha again, is emerging as a preferred destination for investors. I think we have seen last, decade, we have seen a lot of industries trying to come up, and there has been a good amount of political stability, and there has been good amount of policy reform. We have also single window clearances, startup policy for the youth. A lot of incentives also government has declared to, if you want to launch your startups and enterprises. And at the same time, I think Odisha has immense, it's a storehouse, powerhouse of good talent. I think intellectually, I think Odias are richer. So in this context, I guess today's topic, the need of intellectual property right protection and innovation management for startups and MSMEs is very relevant, I think, for all of the students and the youth who are attending this webinar. I think there will be a lot of takeaways from our distinguished panelists who are very knowledgeable and who are domain experts. And they will guide us as to how the startup policy and how the intellectual property rights regime, how it will help us, how it will also help us to protect our business and also patent our, intellectual properties. Friends, I think Odisha, also India, is a bundle of contradictions because the world has moved from agricultural to industrial, then service to knowledge economy. But we have everything, in India. We have agrarian society, you have an industrial hubs, scattered all over the nation. And you have service sectors also, they are coming up in a big way. And at the same time, we have knowledge economy also thriving. And we have seen the resurgence of different, multinational Indian multinationals like Infosys and IT enabled service. So today we are in a technology driven knowledge based era. I think the foundation of technology knowledge economy is intellectual capital, which I think Odisha is very uniquely positioned to have a talent storehouse of intellectual. And the intellectual property rights is very relevant, for any startups, for any prospective entrepreneurs who wants to set up his own business. Because in order to be in a knowledge economy, in order to be a successful entrepreneur, one has to be competitive. And in order to be competitive in a business scenario, you need to plan your strategy, goals, minimize your business risk, and create and protect your value for your shareholders, customers, and employees. So in a way that, an entrepreneur needs to be legally savvy in the sense that he need not be a legal expert or he need not be very proficient in legal knowledge, but then you need to have a working knowledge of good understanding of the laws, the legal environment in which business operates. So in a knowledge economy like ours, when there are a lot of innovations taking place, there are not a lot of demand for new products and new services, and especially the new generation millennials and the new generation youth, they have a lot of ideas which need to be tapped, which they need to be mentored in order to build a very robust and strong business model. I think intellectual property, the knowledge of intellectual property right is very necessary. At the same time, I think India is improving in the global innovation index from 57 to it has jumped 5 places. Last year 2019 it has jumped to 52nd. So global innovation index, when I say this ranges from intellectual property rights, also mobile applications, education spending. I think how you build your intellectual capital, human capital, that is very much, that is one of the foundation to build an innovation economy. And at the same time, the kind of R&D research and development spend also normally we do and at the same time, the scientific and technical publications. So these are the major indicators of a innovation-led economy. So here, I think I'll stop here. Our distinguished panelists will take you through all this interesting topic, different dimensions of intellectual property rights, its implications for setting up a business, and how you reduce your business risk, and how you also protect your intellectual property in terms of patenting, trademarks, and copyrights. I think they'll take you through the entire, regime, intellectual property rights regime. With this introduction, I hand over the proceeding to Mr. Anil Patra, who will also introduce further the topic to you. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful webinar.
Many thanks, Santanu sir. Excellent coverage about the theme. I welcome with warm salute to one and all. There is a well saying, anything or being comes in contact with us at any fraction of second. Anything or being comes in contact with us at any fraction of second. It's just like an additional hole in our life's flute. We must see each and every hole is well taken care so that our life and the universe as a whole will be rhythmical. Every fraction of second in everyone's life, opportunity, a lot of opportunity lies, just we have to unfold it. So, as Ratha sir said, here OCF is a platform giving an opportunity for all with the learners, aspirants as today we joined, our existing entrepreneurs, upcoming ones, for each and every segment, the best way we can serve you to unfold the lying opportunity into productivity to make you the best entrepreneur and Orissa let become आजिर ये जो टॉपिक आमर रही इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स टू स्टार्ट विथ तापाई आमर आज जो की स्पीकर आमर अछंती डॉक्टर बीके साहू सर विजय कुमार साहू सर आई लाइक टू इंट्रोड्यूस इन ब्रीफ बिफोर स्टार्ट Dr. Vijay Kumar Sahu sir, he earned his MSc and then MPhil and PhD from JNU, New Delhi. Specialized in intellectual property rights and technological capacities with special reference to biotechnology in India. Presently, Dr. Sahu, sir, heading NRDC, the Intellectual Property Facilitation Center, and this United Nations IPO Technology and Innovation Support Center in Visakhapatnam. For National Research Development Corporation, NRDC, Government of India. Dr. Sahu, he recently conferred and received Global IP Convention Awards by GIPC during the 12th Global IP Convention at Vignan Bhavan for the promotion of IP, intellectual property, and innovation in India and abroad. He is considered as a 100 influential IP leader from India by World IP Forum for the year 2017. Recently, he was invited as a keynote speaker to United Nations, this UNESCO IDEC 2018 on IP innovation in educational curriculum. Dr. Sahu sir, he has facilitated many patents, this trademark, design, copyright, and other IP to various universities, the startups, MSMEs, and transport, and commercialized many lab-scale technologies to MSMEs and industries. Dr. Sahu, he coordinated as many as more than 300 IPR workshops like this, national and international seminars and conferences in the country. He also managing the IP and innovation of various PSUs in the country. Dr. Sahu coordinated as a Government of India task force study on innovation policies in China, Korea, and Taiwan implication for India. He has visited many countries. He is also guest faculty on IP and technology management and a very good mentor on IP in many prominent institutions and universities, the startups ecosystems of STPL of Government of India in the country. With this brief note, I request Dr. Vijay Kumar Sahu sir to this floor to cover up with today's beautiful theme all about first IPR, what it is, the need, the importance, and how this can be helpful for the startups, the small and medium scale these enterprises with live examples more practically. Please welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Patra, for your introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Raksha Bandhan. And the topic is quite important and need of the hour today as far as MSME and startup are concerned. I have a 25-minute presentation. I thought I should present you. And thank you, Dr. Ratha, for your kind introduction. And also, at this challenging time, the COVID-19, what we are going through today, we need innovation. We need innovation to mitigate the challenge today. And as far as my organization is concerned, already Mr. Ratha has already told you, and certainly intellectual property at this 21st century knowledge economy plays an important role. All stakeholders need to protect in the WTO era where the protectionism is very, very important. So friends, let me start with my role so that how I can be useful for OCF, and it is a privilege for me to join with OCF today in this forum, and I am grateful to Mr. S.K. Behera to connect me, although many of my friends are there. And also I am grateful to Hiranmay Mahanta, the CEO of IHOP, and I think one of the best leader who is managing innovation of government of Gujarat. And this is the synergistic effect and impact of collaboration where we can do our best for the society at large. So let me tell you what we do. My primary role, I just like to apprise you, anyone, any citizen of the country who have an idea, or any MSME and startup who have an idea, first we need to protect that idea. And that is very, very important. And that is the IP protection we talked about. Anyone needs IP protection, there is a financial liability. So what we do, NRDC helps free of cost to any startup and MSME for filing their intellectual property. NRDC bear the cost of the same, and that is our innovation promotion model under Ministry of Science and Technology, Department of Scientific and Industrial Research. That is the primary role we do for MSME and startup, even the students also. So NRDC as a innovation promotion organization under Ministry of Science and Technology, we connect the dot from lab to the land. We connect to all the universities, institution, corporate R&D, individual inventor, and help them in IP protection, management, pilot plant studies, technology evaluation, regulatory approvals, marketing, seed funding, skill development, prototype development. Let me also tell you, in this COVID-19 period, we have help in 19 COVID-19 technology of tracing, treating, and tracking for prototype and also scale up of this technology. We did it. Then we help in field testing, market research survey, BDP. We provide incubation services. We give national awards every year, National Innovation Awards, Budding Innovation Award, and Societal Innovation Awards. And also we transfer the technology from lab to the industry to the entrepreneur, and we collect the royalty and share the royalty with the universities and institutions where we get the technology. So we have so far more than 5,000 technology we have licensed. We have filed more than 1,700 patent, and we have signed many MOU as far as our bilateral organizational collaboration is concerned. So this is my role, as I thought I should place before you, so that I can be useful for your activities, and I can certainly help. And in recent time also, we help many startup and MSME of Odisha in protecting their intellectual property. So friends, intellectual property has said to be an intangible asset. National intellectual property policy has come. Government has given more importance to IP protection, management, and also IP commercialization that you might be knowing. But that is my role. How a stakeholder can get benefit from NRDC as an officer, I can help. So coming to the innovation, at this challenging time, we are looking from technological innovation, particularly the vaccine, so that we can mitigate the challenge from this pandemic. That is innovation, and that innovation makes the difference today. And that's the leadership is talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat. So friends, innovation is nothing but a market driven, demand driven, and discovery driven. In the 21st century knowledge economy, you must have to protect our intellectual property. We have seen in the case of Haldi, Neem, and Basmati. And we must not replicate the same thing, because that is certainly diminish the country credibility in the global innovation index. So we must have to protect. Knowledge must be acknowledged, and there should be a knowledge management. And you know all this flagship program of India, and we all are part of that. And also today many leaders talked about and how we are out of box in terms of our thought process. And we have seen how Mr. Sonu Sood, Bollywood actor, did his best for the societal and create a human touch during the COVID-19, and helping to the people of the country during this tough time. That is nothing but the innovation I can say. So friends, when we talked about technological innovation, certainly Government of India at this time came out with a great flagship program. And now we have Self-reliant India with 5 excellent pillar. Today we have economy, infrastructure, system, vibrant demography, demand is there. So this is the best time to do something. We must not depend on import on technology. As you know, our dependency on import of technology is more than 75%. So today, once upon a time in the month of March, we are importing PPE kits, but today we are manufacturing more than 4 lakhs PPE kits every day. So that is nothing but the Atmanirbhar. How we can make the difference, bringing new idea and innovation to the people of the country. That is nothing but the dream of Mahatma Gandhi and the mission of the Prime Minister of India. So now we have been talking about vocal for local, and how we can make that MSME and startup global. We need intellectual property. intellectual property is nothing but the creativity, protection of the creativity, knowledge who have created it, and also product, brand, and originality. That we must have to think in that way and protect our intellectual property. And if we are not protecting our intellectual property, not only we are destroying our own ecosystem, we are also giving a challenge to the country. And today, you know, the country has kept as a priority watch list. It's called Special 301 provision. So point is that intellectual property as a member of WTO, of TRIPS compliance, we must have to protect. If we are not going to protect, we have seen in the case of Haldi, Neem, and Basmati. Many more cases of are going on, dispute settlement issues are going on. So friends, in recent time on PPE kits, NRDC transferred this PPE kits technology to 5 MSMEs. And those MSME who have taken this technology, new technology, patented technology, because somebody has developed it, it is a new, and there is no infringement, original, and these MSME are now supplying these PPE kits to the Mother India. And that is innovation, transformation, and people are accessible and adaptable and also affordable to connect or get this kind of technology. So this is our role, and this is our mandate, and this is our mission, and this is our collaboration today with OCF, that OCF connected to me to speak to the people of the member of the OCF, leader of the OCF, and also the stakeholder of the MSME and startup, how they can get the benefit in intellectual property protection. Anyone who have want to protect a patent, trademark, design, copyright, please freely talk to me. We are there to help you. There will be no financial liability on you. NRDC will protect the patent, all the IP, free of cost and bear the cost, because we are getting the fund from our own ministry to protect innovation, to leverage innovation. And at the same time, what we do, we also gives awards, innovation awards every year. So friends, there is a paradigm shift through innovation. Without innovation, we don't have a sustainability in this economy, and we must have to strengthen our ecosystem, and so that the country will prosper and people of the country will prosper, and country will have a great innovation index from 52 rank to we can come to a certainly a top 10 position. So we need to bring skill set. We need to come out with the more idea, and idea must be protected idea. It should not be an infringement. Infringement of idea is nothing but a damage to the person, damage to the industry or MSME, and also damage to the country. And as I told you, the country has kept already a priority watch list by the US Department of Commerce called Special 301 provision. So innovation and creativity is nothing but the new idea having a value creation to the society. Let me tell you, friends, these 3 students from one of the IIT develop a IUSync, a AI-based stethoscope, provide a effective osculation of the diagnosis of heart and lung disease. And these 3 people today, they are not job seeker, they are providing job to the people, because their innovation, their technological innovation has a great impact to the society, to the people, and also to the country, as far as this innovation is need of the hour, so that people can access it, avail it, adapt it. So creativity leads to invention, invention leads to innovation and value creation, that we all of know. We have all ecosystem from STPI, Government of India, many mechanisms are there that you know, and many of the forum you might be knowing. But let me tell you the IPR perspective today, navigating new business to the world, the future is foggy, because if you are not protect your intellectual property, the patent, the trademark, the design, the copyright, if you are infringing any other's IP, that it is a great damage to the market, because in the market economy, intellectual property plays a very important role, that we must have to protect and make the strategy of our intangible asset before venturing to the market. And that is very, very important to all MSME and startup. And you know, many of the startup MSME has doing knowingly, unknowingly, they are using other technology or the IP, and that infringement, they are facing a lot of legal implication. So we must not be face that kind of legal implication, because going legal means ultimately we are destroying our own structure of business strategy, because legal implication is very, very lengthy and it is very difficult to mitigate in a short period of time. So friends, we have many opportunity today. As I told you, we have a national IPR policy, we have a national innovation and startup policy, the guiding framework for higher education institution. We have Startup India. Now, those startup who are recognized as a DIPP startup, they are going to get all kind of benefit in terms of IP protection, and IP can be freely facilitated by the various attorneys. Normally, we help because it is our mandate. So we help all the, not only startup, we help to MSME, individual, universities, anyone who have the great idea, and also the idea has a commercial impact. We also help in commercial development, prototype, market survey. We help that kind of activity, as I told in my first presentation. So we need to take that this is the institutional ecosystem we must get from the government. And let me tell you the challenge before the country today for MSME and startup. Let me tell you, there is a report of WIPO studied by one of our colleague in through MSME of DC MSME, Government of India. 2.8 to 23.4% granted patent in India, particularly in MSME sector. That means how MSME sector are behind protectionism, because that is the lacuna today, that our MSMEs, because technology is very, very important, and IP gives the confidence, and also you can get a investor in putting some money, because intellectual property gives the confidence to the investor today in the knowledge economy. We are talking about industry 4.0, about artificial intelligence, IoT, blockchain. These are the technology coming from various geographical region. There is a IP, greater role of intellectual property. And in India, many infringement cases of imitation cases are going on. So, and we are in a special 301 provision. Those countries who violate intellectual property. In India, the public sector, private sector, R&D investment is very, very poor. If you see Korea, China, Japan, Israel, their private sector investment in research and development is high, because they believe that they have a very IP ecosystem. So that's why Government of India in recent time came out with a excellent national intellectual property policy. There is IPR facilitation for startup. Anyone, any startup MSME are looking for IP protection, your brand, because today whatever the product we are seeing in the market, we recognize that brand, and that brand is nothing but the trademark, the design, the aesthetic shape of the product, the knowledge behind that patent, the invention of process and patent. So these are need to be protected, because these are the intangible asset, and this is your monopoly and your right, legal right, that we must have to understand today. So friends, Prime Minister of India always talked about innovate, patent, produce, and prosper. And today, imagination is more important than knowledge, and patent system added the fuel of interest to the fire of genius. So that we must have to understand. We have a various type of intellectual property: patent, trademark, design, copyright, layout, design of integrated circuit, plant varieties and protection right, copyright. So these are the IP. Let me talk about the Odisha Rasagola. Many of my friends, Odia friends, are there. We could not register Rasagola GI of Rasagola, and we have many issues. But fortunately, we register right now. So point is that we must have to register whatever the product, original product, because this is the need of the hour, and we must have to compliance the WTO norm and create the ecosystem today. Now, Government of India is coming out the National Science, Technology and Innovation Policy to see the impact of this COVID-19, and through Atmanirbhar Bharat, how the country can strengthen the R&D, design, science, S&T workforce and institution, huge market, demographic deviant, and diversity and data. So the policy will certainly make the difference, and people will connect it. We have MHRD Innovation Council to inculcate innovation in all engineering college. Let me tell you what we do. We goes to all university across the country, connect to them. We have established innovation center in around 11 university, including All India Institute of Medical Science, many Tezpur University in the northeast, in the many part of the country, many institutions, we have created an innovation cell. The beauty of that innovation cell is that any student, any faculty who have the idea, to incubate that idea, before that prototype level, we evaluate and protect the patent, because that is the credibility of that institution today. And if that goes to the market, that is the credibility of that institution tomorrow. The way we talked about corona vaccine or COVID-19 vaccine, the Oxford University is coming out, or this Serum Institute coming out. So that is the role of academia and industry collaboration and bringing new innovation to the society, where the benefit of incentive and benefit sharing is there, and intellectual property plays a very important role. At this challenging time, we also came out with a compendium of Indian technology available for commercialization, tracing, testing, and treating. And though many of the startup in Odisha, also one of the MSME, we have funded them for the scale up and development of one of the technology, excellent technology he has developed related to waste management of COVID-19 hospital. So this is the beauty of ecosystem and collaboration and connection, so that people of the country will get benefit. Now we are also helping any technology, anyone who have an idea related to COVID-19, come to us. We are there to help. We will first protect your patent in your name, because you are the creator of that. Then we'll look for commercial aspect and also prototype and scale up for that technology. So friends, today I like to tell you, in 2005, US was #1 internationally in terms of patent application, because patent is one of the innovation indicator in global economy. But today, if you'll see, China is #1 ahead than US, Japan, and Germany. So this is the need of the hour in the WTO economy. If we want to strengthen national economy, we must have to strengthen our innovation index, and that too technological innovation. Patent is very, very important. We must have to protect, and also we also must share or collaborate this intellectual property for the societal development. So we must think out of box, and we must not recycle the wheel. And MSME and startup is need of the hour to get the right of ecosystem and all platform in protecting their all IP. And also at the same time, many funding opportunity are there. And if you have a IP, ultimately people are there ready to fund for your business proposal. What we do at the same time, we connect with academia, industry, and also transfer the technology. What kind of technology industry looking for, and then we look for that kind of technology from academia, and we transfer that technology. And in recent time, we transfer many technology. Let me tell you, friends, since we transfer one of the technology. This is recycling of plastic waste to tile. And this technology we have transferred to 13 startup and MSME in 13 states of the country. And because you know, plastic waste is one of the biggest cause of pollution and also creating environmental hazard. But today we have transferred to 13 states, and 13 leader have making the difference and making this tile. And this tile can be useful for floor making, or in the various process you can create from this product. Any interested startup MSME, please join with us, and we can certainly transfer the technology. At the same time, now you might be seeing many corona detection kits has come, and we have transferred one technology to one of the company who is now developing this kind of technology, and people are getting benefit, and also people are getting job. And this is the time and need of the hour, how we can make the difference to the society. And we need to bring at this challenging time. And in fact, the national educational policy has come. Bringing academia industry together is very, very important, and intellectual property plays a great role. As far as the knowledge is concerned, knowledge must be acknowledged, and there should be a knowledge management and transfer of knowledge from lab to the industry. And then only we can bring Lakshmi and Saraswati together in the 21st century knowledge economy. Let me tell you, friends, this is one of the technology we transfer from one of the labs, universities. And today this product, one of the industry startup is coming to the market, and people are getting benefit this indigenous technology. And also the researcher, the scientists who have developed, getting the royalty from her creativity invention in the form of patent and through royalty. And many people are getting job in these companies. And this is innovation, knowledge creation, knowledge management, and making difference to the society. So, and another point, you might be knowing, copyright is one of the biggest challenge today. Many is the way we are using all internet platform. We must have to see there is a copyright issues, and you will be surprised, in India there is a revenue loss of crore of rupees we are losing because of the piracy of copyright. I think 180 billion annually we are losing loss of revenue, and also we are losing 60,000 job annually because of the piracy and also copyright violation in the country. So this is something we need to strengthen as a country. And when we talked about industry 4.0, and must have to see the standard data and intellectual property in that respect. And also there is a in recent time, Government of India came out the national policy of software product development, and any startup can also get funding for research and development fund for the product development. And I need not to talk about piracy. You know, in piracy, India has a position, I mean, top 10 position in the software piracy in the world. So, and also I'd like to tell you, in India, private sector is not putting R&D investment. And that is the biggest challenge today is it has been observed that intellectual property, right? So friends, from ideas to product, NRDC plays a very important role in all this aspect. And I'm certainly grateful to all of you to connect me, and it is my responsibility to do my best. In recent time, we transfer many strategic technology for Mother India. Now these companies are now manufacturing for the strategic use of the nation. Many engineers are getting job, and these companies are making the difference to the society. So this is our innovation, knowledge creation, and making confident and building capacity among the various stakeholders is our role also. And I sit at Visakhapatnam, and my headquarters is at Delhi, and we are under Ministry of Science and Technology, Department of Scientific and Industrial Research. So many of the technology in recent time came out from university institution and transferred to many industry. And we need a academia industry collaboration, so that in that collaboration, academy will give the idea to the industry make the difference, and people of the country will get the benefit. And that is the role of intellectual property in the 21st century knowledge economy. And that is a dream of Mahatma Gandhi, who talked always about indigenous innovation, and the mission of Prime Minister of India. And friends, the problem is never how to get a new innovative thought into our mind, but how to get the old one out. Thank you, all of you. God bless you all. Jai Hind. My mobile number, email ID is there. You are most welcome to talk to me for any kind of IP support, technology support, and also any kind of support to your business related to technology, innovation, and IP. God bless you. Jai Hind.
Many thanks, sir. Vijay sir.
Thank you, sir.
It's an excellent coverage. I request, here I first recognize the presence of Sri Sanjeev Kumar Mahanti sir, Senior Advocate from Delhi High Court, Senior Advocate of Supreme Court. I request Sri Sanjeev sir to sum up Vijay sir's coverage in a nutshell, so that we can proceed up with our next most dynamic speaker, Hiranmayaji. I request Sanjeev sir for a simple coverage of total cover, Vijay sir's note. Please, Sanjeev sir, I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Dr. Vijay Sao's presentation was more on the side from the perspective of NRDC. And actually, myself being a patent attorney and IP litigator, I just followed his presentation and all that. My observation is, because rather than summing up, my comment and observation is what he presented. It is a very holistic view, right way, in a very right way, the government perspective and what NRDC proactively doing for the entrepreneurs, startups, and the policies of the government he has highlighted. One thing I have to comment, that part is protection, registration is fine. But in case of any violation of your IPR, how to go about it, that is also to be addressed, that requires to be addressed. There is a applicable whether we have go for a civil remedy or we have go to a criminal remedy, whether we have to use a screwdriver or a tank. So law and economics, so you need a IP litigator, not any kind of matrimonial litigator, any other litigator, lawyer who is very specialized in this field of IP. IP litigation's strategy has to be devised as per the purse like lawyer, doctor sees the pulse, lawyer sees the pulse. For a MNC and for a small startup, the IP policy has to be tailor-made. Overall, the government has made a policy, but IP policy or strategy has to be decided, because if the startup don't have a huge legal budget to contest a case, where to go, how to go about it. So many things may not be NRDC can provide, where you have to come. Also, apart from my private practice, again, IP litigator, 2014 onwards, I represent IP office. I represent trademark copyright office in Delhi High Court. Many a times between the private party, there are disputes when the IP office was called for to give report, and sometimes there is a contempt. So I appear to defend the IP office. So my point as a litigator or IP lawyer, that first thing is like ideas to asset, like he's said that Lakshmi and Saraswati, yes, how to make from the ideas to arrest. Like copyright, I was a lawyer who appeared in a matter, so 20 years, it took 20 years. I have grown, but the client, my client has gone down. Because many times the things are that because of the litigation, it takes 20 years. The technology which he has prepared is no longer relevant. So many a times the court cases takes huge burden, so you have to accordingly plan. Sometimes even if you want, we wanted to settle the issue, but other side doesn't. So there are many things. So overall, I want to summarize his presentation that it was excellent. It was very timely, especially during COVID-19 epidemic time. Government is actually very proactive. And we wish our Prime Minister's vision and for all the entrepreneurs, and he himself come from a state which is Gujarat, and it's quite enterprising. And just I want to add as a footnote, Odisha Rasagolla GI, we are always blaming West Bengal, our neighbor. We shouldn't, rather they have also got, we have also got, but we are not smart enough. Yes. We are our sweet maker, or we should convince the Haldirams and big players to get into this business, so that Odisha GI, Odisha Rasagolla is most widely known, and like it should compete. So Bengal has their version, Odisha has their version. So we should compete rather than we say West Bengal has taken, or but we are somehow, our government of Odisha, OCF, I have a suggestion that OCF should also bridge this gap, so that the government of Odisha should come out a IPR policy, and their Department of Industry and MSME should be more proactive to help also the startup and all that. So for especially the IPR things are concerned.
Yes, yes. I will just add to Mohanty sir. And yes, sir, I totally agree with you. And because filing patent and up to the grant of patent is not, but then after that, how we are mitigating that challenge of keeping alive that patent. And so litigation is one of the biggest challenge. And today startup, many of the startup has faced many litigations, sir. Let me also tell you in this forum. And many of the big corporate have sue infringement suit against this startup. Now they have these startup are facing the challenge how to mitigate particularly this kind of IP. And the IP litigation, in fact, Mohanty sir knows better than me, and because he is representing the CGPDTM of Government of India. And at the same time, we need to collaborate, and that's today I met. I think I used to talk with Mohanty sir in WhatsApp during our Rasagolla issues, and certainly I am grateful to OCF that today it was connected, and let's collaborate, and ultimately we can make the difference. And certainly government of Odisha need to bring IP policy the way government of Gujarat. In fact, Hiranmay is here, who will be giving excellent ecosystem created by, because I am part of their ecosystem, and the way they have created a beautiful ecosystem for their startup and entrepreneur. I am really privileged that our Odia chap who is managing that innovation in that state, how Hiranmay can make the difference to the state of Odisha and the people of the Odisha. And I'm really grateful to all of you. God bless you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Many thanks, Sanjeev sir. Sir is a IP lawyer in Supreme Court. Sir, I request to stay with us, and after one of our most dynamic speaker, Mr. Hiranmayaji, again I will request your good self to sum up the contents, and we'll go with the floor. Thank you, sir. Mr. Ritesh, OCF, hello, yes. Here is Mr. Hiranmayaji. So let me introduce Hiranmay Mahantji. He is a dynamic entrepreneur, a policy formulation, and excellent coverage on this subject. A live example for all of us. So in his brief note, I like to say Mr. Hiranmay Mahantji is a CEO of Gujarat Startup and Innovation Hub, iHub, the nodal agency of Government of Gujarat to develop innovation and startup ecosystem in the state. As an entrepreneur, he co-founded this Techpedia in college to showcase the innovations across universities in public domain to build a strong innovation culture across youth. For this, he was awarded by former President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam at IIM Ahmedabad. Hiranmayaji, he is passionate to develop and harness inclusive innovation and the startup ecosystem, the process, the pedagogies and institution building involving the youth, academia, industry, and other actors to create sustainable innovation-driven enterprises. He has been instrumental in conceiving and deploying youth-centric innovation and startup ecosystems for universities and helping various state governments and universities to shape policies and deploy them. He is a member of Global Shaper Community and Initiative of World Economic Forum. At present, he acts as a member of AICT Startup Policy Implementation Committee at Through this, he is making national strategy to take the innovation and student startup movement across 10,000 plus colleges affiliated with the AICT across all states to harness creative potential of students across disciplines. He has been nominated to contribute to a dozen technology business incubators to support young startups. Hiranmayaji, he has contributed to the startup policy formulation and deployment strategy of over 5 states in India. With a warm welcome, I welcome you to the floor. So, with Dr. Vijay sir's coverage, with Sanjeev sir's comment, I request you to add value. Please mostly welcome. Again, all our participants, they are eager with so many questions and likely to interact with all of you. Please, to start with.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity. I basically belong to Keonjhar, so my schooling and everything happened there, and then I happened to come to study engineering at NIT Surat. And Savitre, I got an opportunity to work with some amazing people in this country, and even ably guided by at that time Professor Anil Gupta at Ahmedabad, blessed by Dr. Kalam at that time. So we built some of the very innovative companies when we used to be, जब हम लोग 21-20 साल की उम्र में थे, and typically no boy from Orissa and particularly Keonjhar comes and thinks of building a company in first year or second year of college. I think some of our participants are students. I was told today, I think Anilji was telling, each participant number of students and innovators. So this is very important. And honestly speaking, I never completely pronounced entrepreneurship before I jumped into doing entrepreneurship. So sometimes the theoretical aspects of academic world doesn't matter as much as you really want to do certain things. Luckily, I mean, even I was in a good college, but still there used to be a lot of challenges. You know, when you go to your head of the department of a college and say, you know, I want to start a business while studying in a college, you know, people think like you're asking a kidney from them, right? So these are not traditional things you ask from teachers. But then that was what. So luckily at that time, every state used to send 6 of their best students to different NITs. So I had got 6 Odia friends from Bargad, from Sambalpur, from Bhubaneswar, from Raurkela. And then I was to tell these guys, we can get a good degree, we can get a good job. All will be happy, parents will be happy. But that's not the game that we are trying to play. We want to build something. And everybody was thinking, I have gone crazy. What more I will do? So I was inspiring my young team, Prasanjit, Samal, Vishwaranjan, Mahanti, and all people from different branches who all came in the same branch to study. We decided to build a company and make impact before we graduate. And this was not here. 2008, 7, nobody heard about those things. And we didn't have resources. Today, there is Startup India and intellectual property right and RDC and everything else. But at that time, if you go to a dean of a university, a good university, and ask, I want to start up, they will be thinking like you're doing some Naxal activities in a typical intellectual world. So that's how we started our first enterprise from our hostel rooms. But then we realized that creating one successful enterprise in a young age is not the problem that India need to solve. We need to help everybody who has a dream. जिसके पास भी एक सपना है, उस सपना को साकार करने के लिए प्लेटफॉर्म्स की जरूरत है. And probably we are lucky. Probably we had some good people to back us. We came from a good cultured supporting background, so we got some support. We struggled a lot. I mean, there was a pain for sure. But then not many people get it. A lot of young people listening to us, they might be thinking, we never got those opportunities, right? So we thought, why not to create similar opportunities? And there are few things which stuck to our mind. The one of the thing at that time was, and this is very important what I'm telling to you, if you look at the global universities, how they have, I mean, Odisha has more than 40 universities, and I'm trying to contact some of their leadership in academia, and I will share the story, what we did in Gujarat. Right? So if you look at the global universities and look at the number of unicorn startup companies or unicorn enterprises, that means these are privately held companies with $1 billion market cap, right? Typically like companies like Ola's of the world. Stanford leads the chart globally. So Stanford, 51 alumni has created unicorn company. The second comes in Harvard, it is 37. University of California is 18. And all 12 IITs together in India is 12. Not bad, but we are in the 4th number among the entire university producing these entrepreneurs. But the problem is, how did Stanford manage this, right? It was a new institution. It was not a very, very, very old like Oxford of the world or Cambridge of the world. And I will tell you a story. And this story really inspired me to do what I was doing. This story goes back to World War II, just around World War II. And at that time, the US Federal Office, they realized, उनको ये realize हुआ कि अगर हम लोग सिर्फ इंडस्ट्री को बोलेंगे कि भाई आप इनोवेशन लेके आओ and we want to fight Germany, we want to fight Russia, no way they are going to win, because Germany and the European research and radar and similar technology in electronic warfare was at the peak of any science. I mean, at that time, you look at the best of the Nobel laureates, they used to come from the northern or the Western Europe. Right? So America decided कि boss ये तो नहीं होने वाला है. अगर हम लोग innovation नहीं करेंगे तो हम लोग जंग नहीं जीत पाएंगे. So what they did is they created a fund, and what is the interesting name is? The name is World War Office of Scientific Research and Development Innovation Fund. World War II Office of Scientific Research and Innovation Fund. And what they did is they didn't want to big companies. वो बड़े-बड़े कंपनी के पास नहीं गए. उन्होंने यूनिवर्सिटीज की वाइस चांसलर्स, उनकी वहां पे प्रोवोस्ट बोलते हैं, उनको बुलाया और बोले कि हम आपको पैसा देने वाले हैं. आप लोग ऐसे भी सिर्फ पेपर लिखते हैं, पब्लिशिंग करते हैं. आप लोग थोड़ा सोचो कि नया क्या कर सकते हैं. And what happened? Who got how much of money? MIT was given $117 million. By the way, $117 million in World War II time is $1 billion today, right? So MIT को $117 million दिया गया, Caltech को $83 million दिया गया, Harvard and Columbia को $30 million दिया गया, और आखिरी की लिस्ट में आज यूजुअल हमारे देश में होता है, वहां भी होता है, स्टैनफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी को बोला गया तुम लोग क्या इनोवेशन करोगे, तुम लोग तो नया बच्चे हो, तुम लोग के पास तो आसपास में कुछ ऐसा सिस्टम भी नहीं है, आप लोग एक काम करो, हम आपको इनोवेशन के लिए पैसा नहीं देंगे, आप लोग टीचर ट्रेनिंग करो. टिपिकली जिनको काम नहीं करना उनको कुछ ना कुछ फालतू का काम दे देना है. तो स्टैनफोर्ड उन्होंने $50,000 दिया, उनको $117 million दे रहे हैं और उनको बोला कि भाई तुमको तो हम टीचर ट्रेनिंग में काम में लगाएंगे. Because Oxford used to be 400 years old, right? And Stanford was just hardly बेबी स्टार्टअप। तो एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज, एंड दिस इज इट ओडिशा में भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट, यू नो somebody when a kind of pinch you, कहते हैं कि जितना इंस्पिरेशन से काम नहीं होता उतना जलन से काम होता है, राइट? सो स्टैनफोर्ड की प्रोवोस्ट उस टाइम पे थे फ्रेडरिक टॉर्मन, उन्होंने सब टीचर को बुलाया, सब बच्चों को बुलाया, बोला देखो भाई इज्जत की सवाल है ना, मतलब पूरे देश में हमारी कोई इज्जत नहीं बची है, हमको कह रहे हैं कि आप टीचर ट्रेनिंग करो, तो आप सबको मेरी सलाह यही है कि आप लोगों की रिसर्च लैब में जो भी निकलेगा, अगर वो डस्टबिन में गया तो मैं तुम लोग को डस्टबिन में डाल दूंगा। जो भी आप रिसर्च करते हो, जो भी पेपर छापते हो, जो भी पढ़ाते हो, किसी ना किसी आदमी का धरती में काम आना चाहिए। एंड नोबडी हैज डन दिस बिफोर ना, कोई टीचर तो सोचता ही नहीं है 10 से 6 का 7 पे कमीशन इज हैप्पी, राइट? सो टीचर को लगा ये कैसे हो सकता है, एंड द ब्यूटी ऑफ द गेम इज प्रोफेसर टर्मन नॉट ओनली एडवाइज्ड, ही लेड इट फ्रॉम द फ्रंट। कहते हैं ना एक अच्छा लीडर करके दिखाता है कि करना कैसा है। उन्होंने अपने 2 स्टूडेंट्स को बुलाया, पीएचडी स्टूडेंट्स को, डेविड पैकर्ड एंड विलियम हिल को, और बोला कि आप लोग है ना ये पीएचडी करने के बाद जॉब मत करो, आप लोग मेरे गैरेज में आ जाओ, एक कंपनी बनाएंगे। एंड पीएचडी स्टूडेंट नेवर हर्ड अबाउट कि बिल्डिंग कंपनी आफ्टर डूइंग रिसर्च, ये कोई था नहीं। उन्होंने कहा नहीं नहीं तुम कंपनी का नाम भी बना दो, एंड दैट्स हाउ द Hewlett Packard company came in, and the advisor of the project this was वो कंपनी बना। और उसके बाद उनकी स्टैटिस्टिक्स है, हर 3 में से एक पीएचडी थीसिस या तो प्रोडक्ट बनता है या तो एंटरप्राइज बनता है। अब आप विश्वास नहीं करेंगे, उस टाइम में अमेरिकन गवर्नमेंट ने उनको इंसल्ट करके बोला था तुम लोग कोई इनोवेशन मत करो, तुम लोग टीचर ट्रेनिंग करो। और आज की मैं आपको फिगर बता रहा हूँ, दुनिया की 226 यूनिकॉर्न मतलब $1 बिलियन मार्केट कैप कंपनी में से 51 उनकी बच्चों ने बनाया। दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी और इनोवेशन का रोल यहाँ पे आता है। अब सवाल मेरे दिमाग में, जब हमने पहली बार कंपनी बनाई व्हेन आई वाज 21-22, हमें ये लगा कि यार ये उत्कल यूनिवर्सिटी में क्यों नहीं हो सकता है, ये संबलपुर यूनिवर्सिटी में क्यों नहीं हो सकता है, बरहमपुर यूनिवर्सिटी में क्यों नहीं हो सकता है, दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में क्यों नहीं हो सकता है, गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी में क्यों नहीं हो सकता है। एंड आई हैपन टू accidentally meet some of the very brilliant minds, Dr. Mashilkar and others at that time, and I happened to get across honorable at that time the Chief Minister of Gujarat and now the Prime Minister of the country. And I used to write longer mails. I sent a 55-page mail to the office of Honorable Sri Modi ji at that time, and I got an opportunity to come and present what exactly we are trying to do. तो सपना ये था कि मगज में है, माइंड में है, मार्केट तक जाना है। अभी माइंड टू मार्केट तक की जो यात्रा है, ये भी रथ यात्रा जैसा ही है, start from one to other. But this journey is quite complicated. There are not many people who will pull you. They will pull you from back. When you try to do something, they will pull you from the back. They will not pull you from the front. Now, how do you make sure your idea Rath Yatra becomes successful? That's very important. So what we did is a very interesting game. And by the way, लोगों को लगता है कि गुजरात में इतना इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी होता है तो शायद पैटेंट्स भी बहुत होते होंगे। At that time, I'm talking about 2012-13, पीछे की 5 स्टेट्स में आते थे इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी, मतलब वो at par with any other states, right? मतलब कोई यहाँ लक्ष्मी जरूर थी, बट सरस्वती से लक्ष्मी नहीं था, वो कोई दूसरे लक्ष्मी आई थी, right? So हमने सोचा कि इसको करेंगे कैसे? So how do we do it? We built a company, we succeeded. How do we make sure that thousands of other students like you all will succeed, right? So I used to get across with government offices and politicians and others. We got a lot of help from, at that time, Vice Chancellor of Gujarat Technological University. In 2016-17, we designed a policy called Student Startup and Innovation Policy for Government of Gujarat. And when we used to ask money from the government told how much money you need. हम लोग particularly उड़ीसा से, मैं गांव से आता था, मैंने बहुत बड़े पैसा नहीं देखा था लाइफ। So I thought कि 20-25 करोड़ रुपए बड़ा होता होगा कुछ मिशन मोड प्रोजेक्ट्स के लिए। And when I suddenly, मतलब in that meeting, Honorable CM was there, Deputy CM was there, other people, secretaries used to be there. I thought 100 crore मांग लेते हैं, 100 crore मतलब बड़ा होता है। And one of the big statement that I heard from the Deputy Chief Minister of the state, he says 100 crore में अच्छे शहर में, भुवनेश्वर जैसा शहर में, अहमदाबाद शहर में एक ब्रिज नहीं बनता है, और आप यहाँ देश बनाने की सपना लेके आए हो, आप 200 करोड़ ले जाओ। Well, this is amazing. This country is really wonderful. Sometimes you think that our bureaucracy, our politics, our academia is inert. They don't do. But then we don't believe that we don't sell our dream very well to them. हम अपने सपने ही नहीं बेच पाते उनको कि हम करना क्या चाहते हैं। When we got this 200 crore, we took 3 or 4 steps. हमने कहा गुजरात की किसी भी कॉलेज में कोई भी बंदा, अंडर ग्रेजुएट, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट, PhD, anything else, if you have an idea and want to source to build something, come and take a check of 2 lakh rupees. And we started giving 1,000 teams this small amount of 2 lakh rupees to convert their idea into proof of concept. if you build that idea into proof of concept and say that, okay, now I have done something and I want to show something to the world, we give another 20 lakhs rupees. And we give 20 lakhs rupees to around 250 odd. Our idea was, initially people used to say, ye paisa return kaise karenge? And we took it underwriting that this money, we don't expect to get returned. But even if they fail in this, using this money, the kind of culture that they will create in the state will remain forever, right? And that was the spirit. Interestingly, what happened is in the first year, out of 250 teams, 75 teams of these students from different colleges, they, rather than coming to the placement office to ask job, they went to placement office to get a deferred notice to not to take jobs. So what this means is, please don't give us jobs, give our jobs to others, because some other can leverage it, right? What does this mean? These students converted their ideas and products into enterprises. आप लोगों को लगता होगा हिरण्य गप्पा सुना रहा है, right? But this was a real story. And I'm telling you, these are hardly 21, 22-year-old young students across universities. They're not different from Utkal University or Berhampur University. They're as good and as bad as those universities, right? So when these 75 students came and said, कि boss, अब जो है ना, हम जो नौकरी नहीं मांगेंगे, नौकरी तो देंगे. And you can't believe, when I arranged the interaction of these people with different bureaucrats, governments, and others in the team, they were amazed. They never thought that these guys will turn up such a brilliant risk takers. This was first step experiment. Second year, we got 300 teams. The first itself, they write a letter to placement office saying that हमें तो भिक्षाम देही नहीं चाहिए, हमें job नहीं चाहिए, हम खुद करेंगे. And what we give to them, 25,000 रुपये अपफ्रंट देते हैं पेटेंट फाइल करने के लिए. पहले ही देते हैं. वो बोलता है मेरा ये नोवेल्टी रिपोर्ट है, अच्छा खासा काम किया, मुझे पैसा दे दो. हम सीधे पैसा देते हैं. पूछते भी नहीं वो क्या करते हैं. Just sign it up and give it on trust basis in the सरकारी system. We give up to ₹1 lakh for global PCT files. We give ₹2 lakhs for proof of concepts, and we give around ₹20 lakhs if you are building something bigger. And by the way, when this experiment happened in 3 years, we got 500 teams not going to jobs and converting their research into products and enterprises. Many ODIs are there. So I got a lot of requests from other states. कि हमारे state में तो कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा है. Then I wrote to different states, can we do similar things? But then, bureaucracy and political paradigms are different in different states. But the beauty is, how much money we gave hardly 5 crore rupees per year to these kids, collectively, 2,000 teams. And all these 300 companies today, after 3 years of their enterprise setup, after their convocation degree, is not less than 500 crore. Now, I'm not talking about the money part, but I'm saying that these are the same set of students who are supposed to get a white collar t-shirts and train soft skills to go for a placement for Infosys or Capgemini or anything else, per se, Microsoft or something else. Today, these are startup companies who are writing to Microsoft telling that, look, your tool has a bug, our startup has a solution, who do you merge together and build? ये जो हिम्मत है, ये जो confidence है, ये जो aspects है, ये बहुत important है. And when this thing happened, then we thought, why not to take it to every university? So then we got hold of every university and every college. So there are 3,000 colleges in the state of Gujarat and 85 universities. So what we did, we set up a innovation and entrepreneurship center in every single university. And like vice chancellors have their tasks to do to stay in the office, mandate was given from the government that minimum 1% of your graduate should become job provider rather than job seekers. Whatever you want to do, what help you need from us, please tell us, we'll give you. But excuses are before you tell us what you need, not after what you deliver, right? So that was amazing. And even arts, science, commerce colleges, they did brilliant work. And I told you in the beginning in 2013 and 14, we are in the last 6 states in IP filing. I'm not sure what is the status was at that time. Today, in last 5 years, we have filed an average of 800 patents from the same students whom we used to believe as useless from the same state. And out of these 800 patents, Jo Sanjeev Babu Kohle, more than 25% of these patents are commercializable patents. They're getting transferred to industry. They're going to startup companies as a strategic type. This is very important. So what is happening is, mind to market, we are trying to get that thing aligned. And how much money we put from the government? Hardly a couple of dozen crores. But what we get in return is a complete cultural change. I remember one student enterprise came to me 4 years before. He says, sir, आपने मुझे मोटिवेट किया और मैंने अच्छा काम किया है. मेरा प्रोडक्ट भी बन गया है. मैं अपने कॉलेज की डिग्री से पहले मेरा एंटरप्राइज भी लॉन्च कर रहा हूँ. रेवेन्यू भी आ गया. घर में नहीं बताया क्योंकि घर में बताऊंगा तो पॉकेट मनी नहीं मिलेगा. But I'm doing it well. I am applying for an accelerator in NASA. It was in Singularity University in Philadelphia. So I told कि apply करो, मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा. बोले साहब नहीं मिलेगा तो क्या हो, apply तो करना है. He applied, and a couple of days after he comes to me and he says कि sir मेरा innovation है ना ASEA की number 2 innovations में आया है, a top 30 में selection. And my startup is going to be supported by none other than the founder of Google, Eric Schmidt, and an entire team, Larry Page and Sachin Bhatt. Right? तो वहाँ पे गया, वहाँ जाके ट्रेनिंग लिया, सीखा, and he again calls me back. He says कि सर और एक मदद चाहिए. नासा में आ गया है, मेरा स्टार्टअप अच्छा काम कर रहा है, आपको एक मदद करना पड़ेगा. मैंने कहा क्या? तो कहता साहब मैं फिर से मैथ में फेल हो गया. He was still a student in a university. बोला फिर से फेल हो गया. मैंने कहा फिर से मतलब? उसने कहा मेरे 5वीं अटेम्प्ट है मैथ का पेपर में. I had no choices to pick up the phone and talk to the head of the university. मैंने कहा सर ऐसा क्या करते हैं हम लोग इस देश में कि इसको MIT में बुला के पढ़ाने के लिए बोलते हैं, हार्वर्ड इन्वेस्ट करता है, नासा में इंक्यूबेटेड है, फिर भी हमारे टीचर उसको फेल कर देते हैं. ठीक है, नहीं आता है मैथ, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, ही इज ए propulsive इंजीनियर, उसको करने दो, ही इज गुड इन केमिस्ट्री. आवर सिस्टम डजंट सपोर्ट दिस. हमारे सिस्टम में होता ही नहीं है. हम समझते हैं हर आदमी दुर्गा माता होना चाहिए, मतलब 8 भुजा होना चाहिए, अष्टभुजा, सब कुछ हमारा होना चाहिए. एंड वी नीड टू बी एक्सेल इन दोस. We need to be doing all the good things to get it going. But that doesn't happen. So then we made a policy, sir. And this is, Sanjeev sir, is very interesting. We introduced something called Glorious Failures Gold Medals. That means, अगर आप अपने आइडिया को करते करते कहीं दूसरे एंगल में फेल भी हो जाओ ना, तभी हम आपको डिग्री तो दे देंगे. And that was very radical. I'm talking about 4 years before. And गाड़ियों वहाँ रोका नहीं, उसने मेहनत से पास तो कर गया 5वीं 6वीं अटेम्प्ट में. टीचर को भी लगा हुआ कि यार क्या है, मतलब क्या कर रहे हैं. बट देन द आइडिया वाज इन अ यूनिवर्सिटी इफ यू गेट अ टॉप स्कोर यू गेट अ गोल्ड मेडल, राइट? सपोज यू स्टडी हार्ड एंड वोमिट हार्ड इन एग्जामिनेशन यू गेट अ गोल्ड मेडल. बट इफ यू डू वर्क, इफ यू बिल्ड अ प्रोडक्ट, इफ यू बिल्ड अ कंपनी और यू सॉल्व समथिंग प्रॉब्लम ऑफ दिस कंट्री, नोबडी काउंट्स यू, बिकॉज वो यूजीसी का रिकमेंडेशन में होता ही नहीं है. एआईसीटी का भी बोलता ही नहीं है कि अगर बुर्ला में इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में आपने कुछ प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व किया तो आपको ये मिलेगा. एंड बहुत सारे इनोवेटर मुझे आके बोले कि सर कैसा सिस्टम है, हम लोग जमीन पे काम कर रहे हैं, हमारे को इज्जत ही नहीं है. So then, again I went into the boards of vice chancellors and Department of Education, and we introduced something called startup gold medals. In every university in Gujarat, there are 2 kinds of gold medals now. One is if you learn well, score well, you get a medal. The second is if you learn well in the school of life, right? जीवन की स्कूल में अगर अच्छा सीखते हैं और कुछ बनाते हैं, what grade you get we don't care, but we also give you gold medal. Last time, Honorable Home Minister Amit Shah ji gave the first startup gold medal to a student who built a company of $1 million revenue before he graduated and gave job to 10 of his colleagues from the same class and all used to study at LD Engineering College in Ahmedabad in Gujarat Technological University. And he was scoring not more than 6 point something CGPA. 6 point is a typical average class, BPL class, like our, right? But he got a gold medal in front of all 20,000 people. And you know what these boys says me? कि सर आज मेरे बाप को पता चला कि हाथ में काम करने की भी कोई कीमत है. This is very important. Our society really does not care that people who succeed by doing things in innovation, entrepreneurship, IPR, we actually diminish many things. And this is very important. And these are the interventions that we took. We really made very, very significant changes. Today, every year, we support more than 500 innovation entrepreneurs. And most of these entrepreneurs are hardly, even they are 10 years younger than me. They are 21, 22 years old. And by the time they become 30, they asked me कि sir office बड़ा चाहिए क्योंकि 50 employees हो गए. And this really gives us a kick. This really gives us a new things to do. Probably यही तो नया इंडिया है, यही तो आत्मनिर्भर की बात हो रहा है. और आत्मनिर्भर क्यों भी ना हो, अगर आपको मैं सिंपल इतना बात में कहूँ, we used to produce the best engineers, right? But if you look at the economic paradigm today, if you use Apple phone, Apple get $350 profit from one phone. For what? For doing innovation, for owning the IP. Who makes the complete dabba of the phone? It's the Foxconn who makes the dabba. पूरा फोन बनाता है Foxconn, right? उसको कितना रुपए का प्रॉफिट होता है पर फोन पता है आपको? $10 सिर्फ. $10 का प्रॉफिट होता है पूरा डब्बा बनाने को, और ये लोग कुछ नहीं बनाते फिर भी $350 मिलता है. So, but the policy paradigm is चाइना में 40 लाख जॉब जरूर क्रिएट होता है वो फोन के डब्बा बनाने के लिए. लेकिन अगर हम सिर्फ ये सोचते हैं कि नौकरियां बनाने से ही इकोनॉमी ग्रो करेगा, तो कोरिलेशन फैक्टर अलग हो जाती है. And this is very smart US economy. They're outsourcing the entire manufacturing to somewhere else. They don't want carbon emission. They don't want to go into this. Their IP regime is strong. वो अच्छे से कर लेंगे, बैठे-बैठे उनको मिल जाएगा. Now Indian entrepreneurs, Indian and particularly entrepreneurs in Patia or Khandagiri or Keonjhar and Bhadrak, how their strategy is. This is going to be very important. And we need to help these people because many times our university does not teach us these things. वो अपने history, geography, English में busy हैं बेचारे 1980s की stories वो नहीं पढ़ाती हैं ये सब चीजें हमें, right? तो कहीं ना कहीं हमें ये समझना पड़ेगा. And the thing that we did in the state of Gujarat by top down and a bottom up change is very important. And honestly tell you, the least amount of dissatisfaction we got is from students. Students सबसे ज्यादा cooperate करते हैं. आपको लगता होगा कि जो young लोग हैं वो ज्यादा पागल हैं, वो नहीं सुनेंगे. सबसे ज्यादा पेशेंस उनके पास है, सुनते हैं. गलत होता है, बहुत सारे स्टार्टअप्स कैजुअलिटी में चले जाते हैं, नहीं सक्सेसफुल हो पाते हैं. उनके पेरेंट्स को हम बुला के पार्टी देते हैं. आई गिव पार्टीज ऑफ दोज पेरेंट्स whose boys failed in entrepreneurship in presence of the vice chancellor and the minister of education. उनकी पेरेंट बोलता है कोई बात नहीं, अभी 19 की उम्र में फेल हुआ ना, जिंदगी तो पड़ी हुई है. Now if you don't encourage people to fail fast, fail early and fail often, तो फिर वो कोशिश ही नहीं करेगा. And this is a typical problem that I see as an ODA at my district. We don't encourage people to fail. मैंने 10th में अगर मेरा 3 मार्क कम आ गया तो 4 लोग तो उपवास कर देते हैं. So these are the kind of syndrome that we get into it. We need to figure out how do we go out of this syndrome. The only way probably we get out of this syndrome is we create more positive stories. We tell about these stories quite often. We tell about these narrations quite often. हमें ऐसे पॉजिटिव कहानियों को बना के लोगों के सामने रखना होगा, लोगों को बताना होगा कि भाई ये भी तरीका है, which actually Stanford took as a major challenge. And not only Stanford, if you look at every ecosystem, particularly take the case of Bangalore, Tokyo used to be the #1 destination for R&D outsourcing. अभी नहीं है. Bangalore has taken over. More than 1100 multinational companies have put their R&D centers there. But now the question ये है कि सिर्फ हम destination बनाने के लिए रहेंगे या कुछ खुद भी करेंगे. The question is whether you only make in India or you invent in India or you both, because these are two different things, right? So making Apple is making China, right? But it's the invent in America. But what probably the Honorable Prime Minister is telling is invent in India plus make in India. These two only connects you to Atmanirbhar Bharat. Only अगर आप खाली make in India करेंगे तो क्या होगा? IP तो उनकी होगी, आप सिर्फ एक manufacturing destination बन जाओगे. You know, it's typically like your universities are doing researches and they're getting contract manufacturing somewhere else. And what much you get? $10. So that is no way going to make 5 trillion economy. How we actually do is we invent here, we figure out which university, which lab, which professors, what they are doing, figure out what can be converted, and then how do we protect the IP and take it forward. I think this is very important. And lastly, the war is no more between Chinese border and Indian border. कैसे लड़ेंगे आप बताइए? चाइना एक साल में 15 लाख पेटेंट फाइल करता है, हम लोग 37,000 फाइल करते हैं इंडिया में. अब 37,000 में से भी 25,000 अमेरिकन यूरोपियन कंपनीज की हैं. मैं अभी जस्ट डाटा चेक कर रहा था इस साल का, जस्ट टू कोट यू, वी डोंट हैव मोर देन 3,000 इंडिविजुअल पैटेंट्स फाइलर इन इंडिया. 3,000 लोग तो फाइल करते हैं इंडिया में, और 3,000 में से रिसर्चर कितने होंगे? वो भी 1,500 होंगे. 120 करोड़ की जनता में अगर 1,000 लोग आईपी फाइल करेंगे और फिर बोलेंगे कि नहीं हम तो अरुणाचल प्रदेश में जाकर लड़ने वाले हैं, वो नहीं होने वाला. बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट आईपीज आर ओन्ड बाय देम हु फाइल दिस आईपी. ग्लोबली 45% आईपी के जो क्लेम्स होते हैं ना, वो चाइनीज रिसर्चर्स के नाम पे. जो 45% क्लेम्स ऑफ ऑल पैटेंट्स आर साइटेड बाय देम, तो आप कैसे लड़ लोगे उनके प्रोडक्ट और सर्विसेज के साथ? नो वे. सो हमने फिर सोचा कि गेम को बदला है कैसे. तो दिस इज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग वी डिड इन गुजरात. हमने कहा हर टीचर को बोलेंगे कि भाई तुमने 30 साल पढ़ाया, कितना पेपर लिखा, कितने को एग्जाम में फेल पास किया, वो बढ़िया बात है, लेकिन आपके लैब से, आपके रिसर्च से बना के आप हमें हिसाब दो. एंड सबसे पहले तो टीचर बगावत पे आने लगे, अरे हम क्यों हिसाब देंगे, हम तो 7th पे कमीशन में हमको तनख्वाह मिल रहा है, हमने तो पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन. बट वी डिसाइडेड बोल्डली नो, अकाउंटेबिलिटी तो फिक्स होनी चाहिए. इनोवेशन सबको करना है, टीचर को, वाइस चांसलर को, डीन को, सेक्रेटरी एजुकेशन से लेकर सबको करना है. देन वी डिसाइडेड वी विल ट्रेन देम. सो वी लॉन्च द लार्जेस्ट कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग प्रोग्राम. 6,000 टीचर्स को पूरा का पूरा नॉलेज क्रिएशन से लेकर नॉलेज एप्लीकेशन तक की रथ यात्रा में कहाँ पे क्या होता है पूरा सिखाया. और उसमें एनआरडीसी की काफी बड़ी योगदान भी है, पुरुषोत्तम साहब और बाकी एमएचआरडी ने भी हेल्प किया. जब उनको सिखाया, अब हमने उनको कहा कि अगर आप आईपी फाइल करोगे या आपकी आईपी से कुछ प्रोडक्ट बनेगा, ये आपकी प्रमोशन के साथ जुड़ेगा. अब वो जागे, अब उनको लगा कुछ तो किक आ रहा है, राइट. अभी तक तो सिर्फ पेपर छापने में प्रमोशन होता था, अभी तक 5 साल पढ़ाने में प्रमोशन होता था. हमने कहा 3 प्रोडक्ट बनाओ, 5 आईपी क्रिएट करो, वी विल ट्रीट यू डिफरेंटली, वी विल नॉट ट्रीट यू इन द सेम लीग एज अदर्स आर डूइंग. So when you create incentive for people, then it really strikes the chord. वो आपको उनकी इमोशंस पे हमला करना पड़ेगा. This is how Professor Terman did in Stanford in 1942, right? 45. So हमने जब ये कोशिश किया, you can't believe, अभी हर प्रोफेसर सीवी में ये नहीं लिखता मैंने IEEE में क्या किया, वो लिखता है मेरा 3 पैटेंट कमर्शियलाइज होने के लाइन पे. And let me tell you, this change happened in a span of 36 months. कोई जादू नहीं किया, कोई यज्ञ नहीं की, कुछ कहानी नहीं बताया. हमने सिर्फ क्या किया, जिन प्रोफेसर्स और जिन स्टूडेंट्स का रिसर्च प्रोडक्ट बन रहा था उनको सेलिब्रेट किया. अगस्त 15 में बोला तुम फ्लैग होस्टिंग करो. जनवरी 26 में बोला तुम चीफ गेस्ट बनो. मिनिस्टर साहब जब भी लंच मीटिंग करते थे हमने बोला आज 25 इनोवेटर्स को बुला लो, आप उनके साथ लंच करिए, राइट? एंड वी डिड दैट एवरी मंथ, एवरी डे इन एंड डे आउट. That changed the entire culture of the state. That changed how principals look at. That changed how vice chancellors think. Sir, कंपटीशन वाइस चांसलर के बीच में चालू होती है ना, कि अगर मान लीजिए कि एक से यूनिवर्सिटी की 15 बच्चों ने कंपनी बनाई और दूसरे यूनिवर्सिटी में सब भिक्षाम देवी बोल रहे हैं अच्छी कंपनियों के पास जाके, तो फिर वो कहीं ना कहीं पैराडाइम चेंज हुआ. So these are the things that we did. And today where we stand, today we have more than 5% of these people who are graduating either want to be self-sustainable by doing something own, or they have built something. What we are doing, we are giving money to test their idea. We are giving mentorship. We wrote to every Tom, Dick and Harry good entrepreneur in the state. हमने कहा आपने बहुत पैसा कमाया, बहुत इज्जत कमाया, अब थोड़े दुआ दो. कैसे दोगे? आपको हम 2 यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर देंगे, उनको आप महीने में 2 घंटे चाय पे बुलाओगे, उनको समझाओगे कि आपने क्या गलती करी, इनको क्या नहीं करना. एंड हाउ मच टाइम इट टू, नथिंग एल्स. 500 एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को 5000 अच्छे एंटरप्रेन्योर के साथ बैठाया, उनको बोला चाय पे पहुंच जाओ. एंड यू नो दिस मैरिजेस between a person who can guide and a person who seek guidance, if you can do at a scale, it creates miracles. So every person, I get calls from industry people saying that Kiran mein is saal mujhe zameen pe paisa nahi lagana hai, koi idea hai kya? That's how culture is. The people who used to invest in gold, now they, 2 days before only one person says ki Kiran mein is saal mujhe na 1 crore rupees lagana hai, koi startup hai kya? And these are cultural change, these are paradigms. And honestly telling you, these paradigms has happened because they saw stories happening. उन्होंने देखा सपने सच हो रहे हैं, उन्होंने देखा कुछ रियलिटी कन्वर्ट हो रहे हैं, माइंड टू मार्केट की जर्नी पूरा हो रहा है. तो कहीं ना कहीं ये सक्सेस स्टोरी से बनता है. I have been trying to do certain things in Orissa also, but somehow we have not been able to cleanse that by now. But I think this is a test model that we have done. So जो मैंने अपनी कंपनी बनाने में सीखा और दूसरों को पासन किया कि भाई तुम भी करो, उन्होंने तीसरे को पासन किया. ये पैस्कल ट्रायंगल जैसा है, सबने सबकी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने की कोशिश की और पूरी राज्य की प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर दी. तो वो कहीं ना कहीं जरूरी है. इसको आपको एक यज्ञ की तरफ से एक कैस्केडिंग प्रोसेस में करना पड़ेगा और इसको करेंगे. एंड आई मस्ट टेल यू, वी हैव स्टूडेंट एंटरप्रेन्योर्स who have more than 18 crore of revenue before they are invited to get their degree certificate in convocations. Now this is a very important factor. And one of the interesting thing one entrepreneur told me, he's 22-year-old boy. He said कि साहब आपको पता है मेरी कॉलेज का रेवेन्यू से मेरा रेवेन्यू ज्यादा है. This is brilliant. उसको कॉन्फिडेंस है. He felt his life worth it, right? So ये बहुत जरूरी है. कहीं ना कहीं ये जो नॉलेज इकोनॉमी में, पहले जमाने में जिस कंट्री में तेल हुआ करता था, सूडान में, मिडिल ईस्ट में, उनको सब जाते थे डिप्लोमेसी करने के लिए. फिर जिनके पास मेटल हुआ करता था, रशिया एंड उनके पास जाते थे डिप्लोमेसी करने के लिए. फिर बाद में जमाना आया स्टीम इंजन का, पूरी यूके यूज्ड टू रूल द गेम. एंड देन फिर जमाना आया अमेरिका का, जहाँ पे एडवांस मशीन्स की बात आई, कंप्यूटेशंस की बात आई. फिर इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी की बात आया जब हमारी सिटीज लाइक बैंगलोर आए. बट नाउ नॉलेज इकोनॉमी इज अ लेवल प्लेइंग फील्ड. किसी को नहीं देखना है कि किसके कुएं में कितने तेल है, किसी को नहीं देखना है कितने माइंस केउंझर में है, मयूरभंज में. What do you do out of those resources? Is your youth in this country is only a mouth to feed or a mind to innovate? ये मैटर करता है. ये हमारे देश के 120 करोड़ लोग सिर्फ खाने पीने के 120 करोड़ मुंह हैं या सोचने वाले 120 करोड़ मगज है. ये दोनों के पैराडाइम के सोचने की बात है. And how do we really do that? I think it's very important question. And I think I was really happy when I got call from Anil ji and all the dear friends from OCF. Last time when you did the program, I could not join you in Delhi, but सोचा कि आज अपने कुछ क्रेजी आइडियाज, कुछ कहानी आपके पास रखूं. तो ये हमारी जर्नी है. हम लोग स्टिल सीख रहे हैं, डेली सीख रहे हैं, डेली गलती कर रहे हैं, लेकिन वी आर इन एक्साइटिंग जर्नी टू हेल्प यंग पीपल टू कन्वर्ट द जर्नी ऑफ माइंड टू मार्केट एज सक्सेसफुल. थैंक यू सर.
Mind-blowing Hiranmaiji. It's just like a film story. To comment upon this, just I invite my moderator friend Sangeeta. Let me introduce her. Sangeeta, she is a Bachelor of Engineering from this prestigious National Institute of Technology, Rourkela. As an entrepreneur at heart, Sangeeta started the Signature Attire at 2018 with a vision of providing cost-effective designer at an affordable price. Am I audible? Yes, please. The Signature Attire has morphed from a tailoring office and a daily designer wears to party and kids wear for the export market into the preferred manufacturer for some of India's garment market and overseas. As well, reinventing itself as a customized clothing solution provider, best quality with its best price, Sangeeta is also on the board of directors for the IT startup, Agnosis IT Solution Private Limited in Bangalore, Satyology Solutions Private Limited in Bangalore, and she's a classical dancer, Odissi too. So my moderator friend Sangeeta, I welcome to the floor just to alight upon Hiranmay's talk.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anil. And my apologies to everyone for being very late to the webinar. I'm sorry because I am having a dispatch of around 3,500 pieces today, and I was busy with the buyer just checking the box list whether the items are in place or not. And I'm also sorry that I am talking to you in a cracked voice. I had been on the top of voice and working 3 weeks non-stop to get this delivery out. So again, like I remember Mr. Anil telling me today that have a little carbonated water or warm water and all that. But I'm really sorry that I have to come to the floor with this voice. However, thank you for the short introduction. I mean, it has been a journey almost not so very similar lines like Mr. Hiran Mai was narrating his story. But again, every startup story looks like a film story. Only the startup people know what they did to achieve where they are today. The struggle behind the white walls, I would say, if not a white collar. So yeah, it's been a hell of a journey, but very interesting. And I did miss out Mr. Sanjeev's speech, but I'm sure I'm going to look into the YouTube recording and see the discussion. Mr. Hiranmay, I really liked what you spoke, and I was kind of enjoying everything that you said. It's just like connecting it's just like looking at the mirror when you were speaking. It's more like that. It was really good. But I'm in the manufacturing industry. I also run a brand. So I tell my strategic mentors that सर इनका फोटो आता है, उनका फोटो आता है न्यूज़पेपर में, मेरा फोटो आता ही नहीं है, मुझे करना, मेरे इतना काम करती हूँ, आप मुझे मेरा फोटो लाने नहीं देते हो. People keep calling me and you say no Sangeeta, just be grounded, don't have to go a lot of places and make a noise. Sangeeta does this, Sangeeta does that. So, and then he gave me this example of Apple that you just narrated, okay? And he told, so, Apple cannot exist without this particular company. You are the backbone of brands like HEO, Reliance, Zamira, Myra, blah, 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 all my clientele list. So do you want, and your business model, you are a B2B, you are not a B2C. Everybody wants to put तेरे मरने के बाद कंपनी रहना चाहिए या चले जाना चाहिए. I said रहना चाहिए. So he said you have the answer. Do you want people to put money on you, or do you want people to put money on the company? If you have defined that, go for it. So definitely it's the perception I would feel and the business model, and then we talk about the manufacturing part and things like that. However, like the boy who was failed in mathematics, trust me, my engineering last year, my during the exit day, my professor did tell me that Sangeeta, you need to have a lot of common sense in you. You lack in common sense. And then she told me you should read this book, The Client, to understand and get a lot of common sense in you. I said, but don't you think, ma'am, common sense is something jo by birth hota hai? Can I get that during the journey? So there are, we all are crazy people out over here. We just think that ki hum log ko ye karna hai, hum log ko wo karna hai, and we just get into it. And it's really good that Mr. Hiranma, you have done so much. IP is the need of the hour. It's very important because I have faced it at a lot of my designs. Even before it breaks the ground, I have seen them out in the web. And then the labels, the trademark registrations. It's very important that we go for company registrations, the trademark registrations, the brand registrations, the logo registrations. There are 100 of registration policies that companies need to follow. The brand is equally important, the logo is much more important, and definitely the company name. If we look back, Wipro spent almost like 6 months or 7 months to come up with their logo. So people are there, who are spending money, who are doing this, making such efforts to get the best thing out, the look of it, and it tells you what the company does. So it's very important to get into all these IP stuff, registrations properly done, and you have to see that your thought process is not leaked out, is not been implemented by other people. That's probably what we are discussing today, the need of IP. And with the more startups coming in, more innovations happening, we should now get into the IP, the registrations, the patents, and more discussions and more visibility definitely needs to be spread across. People like Mr. Mohanty, Mr. Hiranmaya are already doing that, and probably more of these sessions will actually tell them the processes, how to do it, who are the startups, should they go for any patent right now, or what is the stage they should go for the patent. All the discussions maybe can be taken as an action point from here and incorporated. So with that, maybe we should open up the floor for the Q&A.
Just a second. I request Sanjeev sir for a sum up.
Yes.
Sanjeev Mohanty sir, please.
In fact, I have been to Silicon Valley, California in 2013. I met actually couple of, because that time actually my visit was primarily to Chicago for a presentation with the OSA, the Odisha Society of America, related to legal rights of NRIs and PIUs. But before that, I've been to California. So there I met the Stanford University you mentioned, and the University of California. I've been to University of California LA campus. The culture here in Delhi, I am for last 28 years. I am a product of Delhi University. In fact, IIT Kharagpur, when they started with Rajiv Gandhi School of IP Law, I was one of those initial resource person because they didn't have full-time teachers and faculty. So I used to go there, and I am into also IP education and all that training. And been to Myanmar also. Myanmar, I've been to 2014, they didn't have an IPR policy at all. So I was there for a week to train their lawyers, bureaucrats, scientists, and the government lawyers, because they didn't have an IPR policy. The law, IPR law, earlier that was part of a British India. So everything I found, the photocopies, and like a land, trademark things are like a land things. And now coming to Odisha, the things are the Gujarat model. Every day we talk of Gujarat model, and all this, it should be taken up as the things that whole India in some state are doing good in particular best practices, something in IP field or something startup field, entrepreneur field doing well. Instead of giving our people more populism measure, I don't go into the political things that feeding people, giving free things, freebies and all that. I don't go into that politics and culture of that. But at least, like Ratha Yatra you mentioned, we all connect. We are all Jagannath devotees. This year Supreme Court has allowed that Ratha Yatra. We are all into that litigation. So the mind to market, that's Ratha Yatra, very symbolic. And if that symbolism, we say Niladri Vijay, Rasagola Day and all that. So Jagannath is a culture, Jagannath culture, and Odiyas are, wherever they are, that Chokka Aki Sabu Dekuchi, that logo. and much merchandisable and all these things. Wherever I go in my car, there will be a sticker and all that. So that thing, if we can, Jan Jagriti kind, because I am born and brought up in Jamshedpur, Tata Steel city. So I understand I am born outside Odisha. So that the things like we connect to the each other, like that he came from some village, city, doesn't matter. Whole of Odisha, see like any universities. Initially, when I approached the NIT, other college, government college for a IP conference, they were reluctant, but KIT has come up. I've been to KIT number of times for a presentation on IP. So IP should be part of the school education and the college education. And as experience was shared by him, Hiranmaji, the experience should be a model and copycat, and that should be tailor-made for the Odia academia, bureaucrats, so that we have a very comprehensive IPR policy for Odisha, more proactive, more aggressive, more market-driven approach should be. Thank you.
Many thanks, Sanjeev sir. Sanjeev sir is a senior advocate, a senior lawyer of IP in Supreme Court, New Delhi. Sir, excellent coverage and sum up. Now I request, so many questions are on the chat box. So my first question from Mr. Sushant to Vijay sir. Can a patent be filed in America or any European countries? What's the difference between Indian patent and Europe patent?
Let me inform to Sushant and Augusta gathering here. Patent is a territorial right. You have a patent, you have the right in India. And if you have seen your idea has a commercial value in America and Europe, you can take the priority in that country and protect the patent. Let me tell you one small example. We transfer one technology from India to African countries. We saw that there is a demand of that technology in a European country also. So we took the right in that country, we protect the patent in that country, and then only we'll get the priority to commercialize that product. Otherwise, anyone can copycat it. So patent is a territorial right. We have a PCT system. Mohanty sir is there. If you want to protect your patent, you can file your patent through PCT route. India has been designated as a international search authority, examination authority. Anyone can file a patent in India and goes to the PCT route to various country as a member country as a national phase. So this is some process of patent application, and Sushant can talk to me bilaterally, and that we can discuss next. Sir, you are mute. Anil sir, you are mute.
Anil Babu, unmute karantu. Anil Babu, unmute karantu.
Yes, please. I'm coming. So, what is artificial intelligence in business? Simultaneously, how to grow a culture of creativity to innovate competitive solutions?
Let me tell you one. I will tell something, and also 50% my friend Hiranmay can add on that. Creativity and innovation culture. The way Mohanty sir told me that he settled in Delhi, and time to time he got an opportunity to give some skill on IP to some of the university in Odisha. So how the leadership in the institution and university and the government also, the way Hiranmay has created a ecosystem, and bring the chief minister in the inauguration and education minister in the inauguration of that program, what it's going on right now. So that kind of model, how we can converge the link between the bureaucracy, technocracy, and also the leader, that is very, very important. And institution creation of IP and innovation culture in Odisha, the leadership must have to give the opportunity to create that kind of such ecosystem. And we are doing our best. Let me tell you, in Odisha, when I was in Delhi, now I moved to Visakhapatnam, we try to do many capacity building program on intellectual property. we went to many colleges, many university, and also let me tell you, I myself facilitated more than 20-25 patent of various professors, scientists of Odisha. So today, when someone is asking in this panel, what is the number of Odisha, I mean position of the Odisha in Indian IP filing, India is behind than Jharkhand. India position in Indian particularly IP data, I mean IP protection for the year 2016-17 as per the Controller General of Patent, Trademark, Design annual report of Government of India. In Odisha has a 17th rank behind Jharkhand. Yeah, Hiranmoy, you can speak on something related to artificial intelligence.
Now for him,
Okay.
around 30 questions there. Just I have to sum up all that, and the most important ones just putting here. One more here is Vijay sir, you can also please, what are essential skills for innovation and assessing these new business ideas? Just a hint.
So I think सर जो लोग सुन रहे हैं मैं उनके बताऊं, देखिए इनोवेशन के लिए कोई स्किल नहीं चाहिए. इनोवेशन वो लोग करते हैं जो रेगुलर मार्केट में फिट नहीं होते हैं. मतलब अगर मैं शायद वो रेगुलर बच्चा होता जो वही पढ़ के वही लिख के वही करता तो मैं इनोवेशन नहीं कर पाता. तो फंडामेंटल क्लियर है. जब हम लोगों ने पहली बार कंपनी बनाने के लिए डीन के पास गए तो बोले यार ये इलीगल काम क्यों करते हो, आप लोग पढ़ाई करो, डिग्री लेके जाओ. फिर हमने कन्विंस किया कि सर पैसा कमाएंगे, अच्छा से होगा ना तो आपको भी नाम मिलेगा, कुछ 5% इक्विटी तुमको दे देंगे, तो लालच देना पड़ता है, राइट. तो हमने सीखा कि प्रोडक्ट बेचने से पहले सपना बेचो, राइट. सो इफ यू कैन नॉट सेल योर ड्रीम तो क्रिएटिविटी तो नहीं आने वाला है. अब क्रिएटिविटी तब आती है जब क्रिएटिविटी ट्रिगर होता है कंपैशन से, जिसको हम कहते हैं संवेदना. संवेदना मतलब क्या है कि जब दूसरे की चैलेंज तुमको अपना चैलेंज लगता हो, वो संवेदना होता है. चाहे दूसरे की मार्केट का प्रॉब्लम हो, दूसरे की पर्सनल प्रॉब्लम हो, जो भी प्रॉब्लम. फॉर एग्जांपल मैं आपको छोटी उदाहरण देता हूं, आपको समझ में आएगा क्रिएटिविटी कहां से होती है. एक फार्मेसी का बच्चा 4 साल पहले मेरे आके बोलता है, सर आपको पता है आंगनबाड़ी सेंटर कितने हैं स्टेट में? मैंने बोला नहीं पता, मैंने तो कभी गया ही नहीं आंगनबाड़ी में. उसने कहा 35,000 से ज्यादा जगह पे है सर, गाँव में आदत बनी हुई है. तो मैंने कहा तो तुझे क्या इंटरेस्ट है भाई, तू तो फार्मेसी पढ़ रहा है. उसने कहा पता है साहब वो आंगनबाड़ी में ब्लैक बोर्ड बने हैं ना, वो 6 फुट ऊंचे में बने हैं. तो मैंने कहा क्या प्रॉब्लम है? तो कहता है आंगनबाड़ी में बच्चा आता है 2 फुट का, ब्लैक बोर्ड 6 फुट के ऊपर है, तो लिखेगा क्या वो? एंड दिस डेमोन्स टॉक टू मी. एंड लॉट ऑफ माय फ्रेंड्स यूज्ड टू बी कलेक्टर्स ऑफ डिफरेंट डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स एजुकेशन में. मैंने पूछा ऐसा होता है क्या? बोले हाँ ये तो पहले बनी हुई है स्कूल, वो तो टेंडर निकाला था, बिल्डर ने बना दिए हैं ऐसे स्कूल है सब. अब सोचो कि बच्चे 1.5 फुट वाले हैं, ब्लैक बोर्ड बना रखा है 6 फुट के ऊपर, तो वहाँ क्या क्रिएटिविटी होती होगी. तो मैंने उसको कहा तू क्या करेगा? कहता साहब मैं इतना कर सकता हूँ, मैं फार्मेसी का बच्चा हूँ, मुझे ये दर्द महसूस होती है, इतने छोटे छोटे बच्चों को लिखने पढ़ने की जगह नहीं है, घर में दीवार में लिखते हैं तो मदर बोलते हैं कि क्यों दीवार बिगाड़ते हो, ये फालतू का ड्राइंग क्यों करते हो, क्रिएटिविटी वही खत्म हो जाएगी. पहले दिन से बोलेगा रंग नहीं मारना, कलर नहीं मारना, इधर लिखने का नहीं है. कहता है मैं ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करूंगा. मैंने कहा कैसे करेगा? तो वो कहता है कि मैं एक ऐसा शोध करूंगा, एक ऐसा पेंट बनाऊंगा जो दीवार पे मार दो तो व्हाइट बोर्ड बन जाए. मैंने कहा किसी गप्पे मारता है, इतने बड़े बड़े पेंट कंपनी बैठे हैं, उनको दिमाग में नहीं आया, तेरे दिमाग में आता है. उसने कहा उन कंपनियों को ये दर्द महसूस नहीं हुई, मुझे हुआ है. तो मैंने कहा कैसे करेगा? तो उसने कहा मैं रिसर्च करता हूँ, 1 साल दे दो, 2 लाख रुपया दे दो, गॉट मनी. यू कांट बिलीव ही फाइल पैटेंट, उसका यूएस पैटेंट ग्रांटेड है. उसका कंपनी का नाम है वी पेंट टेक्नोलॉजी करके. ही मेड इंडियाज फर्स्ट पेंट जो आप दीवार में लगा दो तो व्हाइट बोर्ड बन जाता है, जो लिखना है लिख दो, ठीक है. एंड देन आई कनेक्टेड हिम टू डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ एजुकेशन. अदर उसने पायलट लेवल पे लगा, आप अपने घर पे लगा दो, मदर को बोलिएगा जितना लिखना है बच्चा लिख ले, मिटा दूंगा, राइट. बचपन वापस आ जानी चाहिए. एंड डू यू नो व्हाट द रेवेन्यू ऑफ दिस बॉय? इज जस्ट ग्रेजुएटेड फ्रॉम एमफार्म, 2 साल कॉलेज से निकला हुआ है, 16-17 करोड़ का रेवेन्यू है. मुझे कहता है आई विल कम्पीट द बेस्ट ऑफ द पेंट कंपनीज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. ही स्टार्टेड ऑफिस इन दुबई, ही इज डूइंग इट इन हांगकांग या अदर प्लेसेस. वो बंदा को नौकरी मिला था 8,000 रुपये का बी फार्म में, तो इस दुकान के स्टोर में जाकर दवाई बेचता हो, राइट. उसकी क्रिएटिविटी उतनी थी जितना आप लोगों ने पढ़ाया, लेकिन उसको चुक गया वो चीज. उसने बोला नहीं भाई ये 6 फुट का ब्लैक बोर्ड तो नहीं चलेगा वहां पे, आई विल डिजाइन समथिंग कि ब्लैक बोर्ड को रिप्लेस कर दूंगा. दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट. क्रिएटिविटी कम्स व्हेन यू एनकाउंटर अ प्रॉब्लम एंड यू फील दैट प्रॉब्लम इज योर प्रॉब्लम, and while you solve that problem you see an opportunity, and when you solve that opportunity you create market, and when you create a market everybody celebrates you. तो ये पूरा ऑर्गेनिक इक्वेशंस है, इसमें कोई इनऑर्गेनिक फंडा नहीं है. तो अगर आप कोई भी चीज का प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने की एबिलिटी रखते हो तो क्रिएटिविटी आएगा, और प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व तभी होगा जब आपको लगता है कि ये प्रॉब्लम कोई नहीं करेगा तो मैं तो करूँगा. सो दिस इज वेरी बेसिक थिंग.
थैंक यू. आपको और एक सिंपल क्वेश्चन है हिरण्मय जी, ये है कि हाउ टू वैलिडेट द आइडिया एंड गेट इंटू for the startup, means how to go with the legal stuff of registration of company and agreements, as it's quite difficult for a student entrepreneur to be a jack of all trades.
हाँ, दैट्स ट्रू. सही बात है कि हमने इसी के लिए तो ये पॉलिसी बनाई. जो मेरे जैसे बहुत सारे बच्चे केओंझर से आते थे और कंपनी वाला पूछता था तुम्हारा ऑफिस का एड्रेस बताओ सूरत में, कहाँ से ऑफिस का एड्रेस लेके आए. सो वी यूज्ड टू फाइट विद कॉलेजेस कि भाई हॉस्टल का एड्रेस लिख के दे दो, तो बोलते नहीं नहीं तुम हॉस्टल में कुछ भी करोगे कल को. ट्रस्ट नहीं था. बट हमने जब ये पॉलिसी बनाया, वी हैव अलाउड every student can register their company from their hostel dorms. They can be given address of the universities and colleges if they want to register companies. और हमने क्या किया, एक स्टार्टअप क्लिनिक करके प्रोग्राम बनाया है हर एक कॉलेज में, हर एक यूनिवर्सिटी में. जिसको ये चीज चाहिए वहां पे जाके बात करना है, मुझे कंपनी रजिस्ट्रेशन करना है, मुझे ट्रेडमार्क करना है, वहां पे हम एक्सपर्ट्स प्रोवाइड करते हैं. वी हैव एम्पानल्ड एक्सपर्ट्स. हमारे टारगेट होता है 30 दिन के अंदर में उसकी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाना चाहिए. वो बंदा अगर साउथ गुजरात का है तो यू डोंट नीड टू ट्रैवल टू कैपिटल. इफ ए स्टूडेंट इज फ्रॉम राउरकेला, यू डोंट नीड टू ट्रैवल टू भुवनेश्वर टू गेट हिज पॉइंट. So what we have done is, rather than taking the client to service, we have taken service to the client. तो उसकी वजह से वो इनोवेटर्स को दर्द नहीं होता, वो आसानी से कर लेते हैं. और जहां तक बात आती है आइडिया कैसे वैलिडेट करना है, बहुत सिंपल तरीका है. सबसे पहली बात, जो प्रॉब्लम आप सॉल्व कर रहे हो, खुद उसके लिए पैसा देने के लिए तैयार हो, सोल्यूशन मिलेगा तो खुद को पूछना है. अगर खुद पैसा देने के लिए तैयार हो, उस सोल्यूशन अगर मार्केट में आया तो 5 पड़ोसी को पूछो, तुमको तैयारी है, तुम लोग इसको लिए पैसा दोगे, मैं बना के दूंगा. तो अगर तुम तैयार हो और तुम्हारे जैसे 5 आदमी तैयार है तो मार्केट वैलिडेशन हो गया. नाउ व्हाट यू नीड इज अ स्केल. बट अगर आप आर्टिफिशियल प्रॉब्लम बनाते हो, आपने सोचा रात को सपना आया और बोला ऐसा ही करना चाहिए, कोई मार्केट में बात नहीं किया, खुद से बात नहीं किया, वहाँ चैलेंजेस होती है. आइडिया वैलिडेशन का बेहतरीन तरीका है, जिसके लिए सोल्यूशन बना रहे हो उसके पास ले जाओ, उसको बोलो मैंने ये बनाया है, प्लीज इम्प्लीमेंट इट, सी इफ इट इज डुएबल. If he is saying that it is doable, it is fine. Otherwise, they will tell you why you are failing and incorporate those feedbacks. सबसे ज्यादा आपको सिखाएगा मार्केट. मार्केट की क्रिटिसिज्म को अगर आपने इनपुट मान लिया तो आपके आइडिया का वैलिडेशन हो जाएगा.
Excellent.
Mr. Hiranmay, could you also provide some light to what would be a startup and a spin-out?
So typically, spin-outs are those cases when an established organization or R&D lab is thinking to this predominantly into translational research kind of thing. But for us, honestly speaking, and this is what me and Chris Gopalakrishnan both agree, the founder of Infosys, that startups is not exactly what only the definitions of Department of Commerce tells you. We don't believe that only the scalable enterprises are called startups. Even if you are making a small entity which is innovative, which is sustainable, which can create value for at least 20 people, we also still consider as a startup. So for the example, not necessarily every company will be valued high, not necessarily they will be marketed in stock, not necessarily they will have 1,000 employees. But if you are solving a problem, and there is a dichotomy actually, sometimes our investors believe that if enterprise which is highly scalable is the only definition of startup, right? But we strongly believe that not necessarily everything has to be scalable. So for example, मैं आपको एक छोटी स्टार्टअप से उदाहरण देता हूँ. एक IIT बॉम्बे की स्टूडेंट थी, उसने एक मास्क बनाया है. हिली रीजन में सांस लेने में दिक्कत होगी. अगर आप दारिंगबाड़ी में चले जाएंगे ना, ओडिशा में पहाड़ में जो आदिवासी रहते हैं, उनको सांस लेने में दिक्कत होती है क्योंकि हाई लेवल अल्टीट्यूड काफी ज्यादा है. नॉर्थ ईस्ट में अरुणाचल प्रदेश में दिक्कत होती है. तो उन्होंने जब मार्केट सर्वे किया तो उनको पता चला कि टोटल 20,000 से 30,000 मास्क बिकेंगे, राइट? अब अगर आप स्केल की इकोनॉमिक्स में जाएंगे तो कभी कोई प्रोडक्ट बनाएगा नहीं, कोई PNG HUL कोई नहीं बनाने वाला है क्योंकि उनकी मार्केट नहीं है उसमें. लेकिन फिर भी इन लोगों ने उस 20,000 नीड के लिए प्रोडक्ट बनाया और छोटी सी ही सही प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व किया और एंटरप्राइज डेवलप किया. So what I'm saying is unit economics could be a better proposition to define a startup. आपने 5 रुपए में बनाया, 6 रुपए में बेचा, 1 रुपए की वैल्यू क्रिएट करी और वैल्यू इकोसिस्टम में स्प्रेड आउट किया. That's the best way to define it rather than only looking for points in scale. So far as spin out is concerned, we are doing it. कुछ ऐसे ट्रांसलेशनल एरियाज है, बायोटेक्नोलॉजी है, हेल्थ सेक्टर्स हैं, जहां पे आपको 5-7 साल लग जाता है ट्रांसलेशनल पुश में. और ज्यादातर R&D सेक्टर्स में, इंडस्ट्री में ये चीजें हो रहा है. बट फिर भी अभी इंडियन इंडस्ट्री में इतना ज्यादा परवेसिवली दिखता नहीं है. Still they are feeling okay, they will not be challenged by outsiders. But I think in next 5 to 6 years, if they will not create a very strategic plan for their spin-outs to become ventures, probably challenges will come. And more young startups will come and kind of, they will create more challenging roadblocks for the existing enterprises if they don't.
Thanks for the information.
One question for Sanjeev sir. How to report and prevent IPR infringement?
Yes. Before that, first and foremost thing, our mindset has to be taken. Recently, everybody just in a lighter vein, because the Hiranmaji has made it very lighter and very lively. There was a song I heard, maybe Bhikari Bodo gaithile ki the Bodo Dandar of Bhikari used to be glorified.
Right.
Bhikari man ko bhi hata hala, Bodo Dandar Bepari man ko bhi hata hala. So kind of thing, Bodo Dando and all that, Bhikari ho, Bepari ho, the kind, because these are the something, Bodo Dando, or all these things, all these like branding things. We need to create brand. Like once the brand created or IP created, that has to be protected. Now the registration, all that fine, but there, because the trademark, copyright are it not mandatorily be registered, but registration is beneficial. It is always give you a more advantage. Unlike patent, design, GI, trademark can be unregistered trademark also. So whenever they get trademark, copyright violations or design violations are there, the first and foremost thing that you need to know how and where and things are being pirated or infringed by your competitor, or how it is leaked, all that thing. So first of things, you have to have an investigation. And we have to work very swiftly. And the things are that many a times, whether you have to go for a civil remedy, suppose you have to go for a suit for injunction before a court, civil court, it's not minimum a district judge rank. It has to be filed and get an ex parte order from the court or from an appointment of a local commissioner. And the most important is that you have to sign, suppose the 4 places in a different city. So simultaneously, 4 local commissioner will be rating and with the police protection, because many times the anti-social and local connection is there with police, because we have police, Holi, Diwali with the police. So many times things like if you go for advance, I can say from my many experiences. So we have to work. And another thing, if you have a certificate also, you can go for a trademark, copyright things. You can go for a police so search, seizure. So if you have a complaint, they will verify that it is a proper certificate and all that. So you have to work swiftly and with a strategy. So strategy, so if you have a IP department or it is a small startup, you cannot have an IP department. At least IP awareness is a very must for a IP, so startup owner or a MSME people, that IP, awareness of the IP, and immediately whom to contact, like a help desk. If OCF can provide a help desk, so anybody can, okay, this is happening. And so that is a confidential help desk or something strategies. So there should be given some ray of hope or how to proceed.
Thank you. Thank you. Many thanks, sir. Actually, we have a lot of questions, but already time not permitting. So to respective panelists, will forward the questions and will send the answer to participants. It was a nice interaction. There is a, I love 2 lines of a beautiful song. जिंदगी तुम चीज ही कैसी हो ये तो मैं समझ नहीं पा रहा हूँ, सिर्फ एक जुआरी की हैसियत से तुमसे मैं खिलता जा रहा हूँ। पिला माने हमर स्टूडेंट फ्रेंड्स बहुत अछंते एठी, तो सेमानकर नॉर्मल सिचुएशन रे सेमानकर चिंतन कोन आछे, जिंदा हूं इस तरह की गम है जिंदगी नहीं, जलता हुआ दिया हूं मगर रोशनी नहीं। तो आज जो प्लेटफॉर्म थिला हमर स्टूडेंट स्पेशली हमर जो एस्पायरेंट्स अछंते आगामी पर्याय रे हमर एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हेबे, तो सेमानकर ए जो फ्रस्ट्रेशन बेले बेले आसी जाए, ये नहीं तो वो नहीं तो ये कौन अच्छी, तो सही जिनस को हमर आज जो प्लेटफॉर्म रा सुंदर लाइट अप भावजे बहुत बढ़िया काम करछि हमर चैट बॉक्स रे पिला मानकर बहुत सुंदर कमेंट सब रही हमर विजय सर जो थियोरिटिकल कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी थिला लीगल क्लैरिटी हमर संजीव सर स्पेशली हमर हिरणमय जी जो लाइव एग्जांपल संगर देले इट वाज माइंड स्टोर्मिंग सो मु हमर डॉक्टर शांतनु रथ जे कि हमर ओसीएफ रो एडवाइजर छथि मु ताको इनवाइट करी वोट ऑफ थैंक्स पाई ता पूर्व मोर दीपक कहबार अछि स्पेशली हमर स्टूडेंट फ्रेंड्स पाई ओसीएफ एक्चुअली डिजाइन सुंदर भाव में करिछि हमर स्टूडेंट फ्रेंड्स पाई बोली पर्टिकुलरली जो माने किछि स्टार्टअप रे इंटरेस्ट हबा पे चाहउछंती किबा जो माने ऑलरेडी इनटू एजुकेशन अछंती सेमानंको व्हाई एंड हाउ टू बी एंटरप्रेन्योर जेमति आज लाइव एग्जांपल हमर हिरणमय जी देले सो लाइकली हमर एमति कॉन्सेप्चुअल ता सहित हमर प्रैक्टिकल फील्ड रो संगीता जी एमति समस्त आनिकी हमर प्रति सप्ताह रे गोटे गोटे लाइव क्लास हमें देई चलीबा मोटिवेशनल स्पीकर्स रहिबे प्लस हमर टेक्निकल एंड नॉलेज इंडस्ट्री रो रहिबे एक्सपर्ट्स एगोटा सम अप करिकी पिला मानको गोटे फ्लो रे नेकी जिबा हमर ए जो आज हमें समय अभाव विशेष जो हमर थर्ड चैप्टर थिला एमएसएमई कवरेज टा जे हमर गवर्नमेंट रो कोन सब प्रोत्साहन हमर स्टार्टअप पई रहिछि से ऊपर हम डिस्कशन विशेष करि पालेनी आ गोटे सेशन हमें ता ऊपर नबा पुनी उतरे आपण माने समस्त रही की तो स्टूडेंट फ्रेंड्स को मु अनुरोध करी हमर गूगल फॉर्मेट अछि ता द्वारा से माने जड़ित से माने हमर सहित रजिस्ट्रेशन हेबे ओसीएफ सहित प्लस सेमानक फ्रेंड सर्कल को सेमाने इनवाइट करिवे एतरे हमर जड़ित होबा पे बोली सेमानकर क्यूरियोसिटी सेमानकर इंटरेस्ट को धरि की आमे एतरे सेमानकर जो डिसिप्लिन को इंटरेस्ट अछि आमे ता भितरे चैनलाइज करिकी सेमानक सही फ्लो भितरे देई परिबे हमर एडवाइजर जे अछंती शांतनु सर मु तांको इनवाइट करूची प्लीज टू सम ऑफ द होल कंटेंट अब हमको धन्यवाद अर्पण करिवा बंधु हम स्पीकर्स को प्लीज सर
Thank you very much. It was a wonderful session. I think totally, I think I must thank Hiranmaya who ignited the minds of the entire, audience here, as well as Dr. Vijay Sahu who took us through the entire innovation ecosystems, how government is acting as a facilitator and also a catalyst to create an innovation ecosystem and entrepreneurial, and also how we make sure that the intellectual property rights are not only protected and how it helps the entrepreneur to create value and to protect value for their shareholders. I think Dr. Vijay Sahu was very emphatic when he talked about how NRDC is taking a lead role, in encouraging the entrepreneurs for registration of patent and their intellectual properties. And he particularly emphasized on out-of-box thinking. I think that is the essence of innovations. And it is not only about technology innovations, but there could be social innovations. I think Hiranmaya also was trying to give us a hint that everything you create value, it doesn't really pay you, financial returns. Sometimes you take, you do a business which is more socially relevant also. I think that is what corporate social responsibility is all about. I think the government also has been very, trying to create a very ideal systems, very favorable ecosystems for building this Atmanirbhar Bharat. I think, building a self-reliant India and overcoming at such a challenging time. And I think overcoming COVID-19 and what kind of steps India has been taking, to promote the local entrepreneurship. And there has been a lot of also policy reforms. I think Dr. Vijay Sahu also amply gave us a lot of good understanding as to how, policy reforms are taking place at a very breakneck speed. I think maybe it is difficult to catch up with those policy reforms, its implications for business. I think we should have another session, maybe where we can, he can tell us for MSMEs, as rightly pointed out by my colleague, Mr. Patra, that we should have a separate session. And also, I think there's a software development, there's a software development, then technology promotion policy. I think many things are happening, at one time together. So let us hope for the best. I think Prime Minister slogan, innovate, patent, produce, and prosper. I think these are the key messages. I think every time our Prime Minister has been trying to, send out to the prospective budding entrepreneurs. And finally, I think NRDC also is doing a good amount of capacity building. I expect that Dr. Vijay Sahu, being the son of the soil, definitely he'll also, try to collaborate with OCF also in, launching different capacity building interventions for the academia, for the student community at large, as well as for the decision makers, the policy makers. So thank you, Dr. Vijay Sahu, for your, for a very enlightening session. And I must thank Vijay Mahanti also, our Sanjeev Mahanti, sorry. Mr. Sanjeev Mahanti, who is a senior advocate and in IPR also law, practicing IPR law. I think he also helped us to understand that how we resolve, issues when the litigation comes, especially, the intellectual property rights are very vulnerable, and they are the kind of things which can be stolen. Sometimes if you are not very sure about its implications, but then when you are a victim of, whether hacking or somebody steals your data, or your copyright or trademark or whatever misuses your intellectual property. Hello?
Yes, sir. I think we can hear you.
So I think we must thank Sanjeev Mahanti that he also helped us to make us understand as to what are the possibilities for dispute resolutions, at what level you should escalate the matter to take it to the logical end. As an entrepreneur, we must rightly, in the beginning I said that every entrepreneur must have a basic understanding of the legal environment, the legal framework, in order to manage risk, in order to reduce the business risk. So thank you, Mr. Sanjeev Mahanti, for making us understand about the legal implications, how the laws are evolving, and what are the different dispute resolution mechanisms. Coming to, I think, Hiranmaya ji, I think your talk was the icing on the cake. I can say that.
Thank you, sir.
Everybody was so absorbed, and literally it was so overwhelming. And your story, right, came from your heart. I think you are trying to take us like a, from a Gomukh to Ganga Sagar, like a jatra type, the mind to market. Then, there are certain beautiful things you said. You may have many mouths to feed, but you have mind to innovate. And I think that mind to innovate matters more than the automatically, take care of, mouths to feed. So turning compassion into business propositions, संवेदना माने आपनका पेन ता जतले फील करिवे कस्टमर रहला लोकंग रहला ताकू आपण मार्केटेबल करि परिबे कि आइडिया टाकू केमते आपण मार्केटेबल करि परिबे. I think turning those idea into business proposition, commercially viable propositions. And I think your life story was really inspirational for me,
sir.
as well as for all the students or the audience who have gone through your real life experience, especially how you mobilize your conviction, that how you mobilize money, 200 crores, then how you encourage the entire students, to turn to entrepreneurs. Normally, being an entrepreneur, businessman, in our ODR culture, normally it is, a kind of a not acceptable phenomenon. Like, anybody who does business, he's doing business.
But I think with all your help, we are changing this culture.
Yes, I think there is a paradigm shift. I think that is happening gradually. The youth have started getting a feeling it is more important to create wealth rather than to be at the mercy of somebody asking for a job or begging for a job. I think that the time is fast changing. The youth is maybe this is a very tough time, challenging time all of us are passing through. But nevertheless, I think that Bhikhyam Dehi Muhavuchi, those words, I think that will resonate with all the youth who are dreaming big and thinking big. I think Gujarat government to I think, dream it big, think big. I think that is how you can hit the jackpot. The story of that person, the Pent, Kui Pent, how he went to conquer, even he is thinking of now competing with multinational companies. See the courage, see the conviction, see the confidence of a young man who is really dreaming it big. who is turning compassion into a business propositions. That was really amazing, something which I'll remember for all the time to come. I think being a faculty, being a part of academic fraternity, I'll definitely share this story with everyone, all of my
Thank you so much,
to
sir.
inspire them. And also what was very important for in your interactions, in your talk was glorious failures, failed entrepreneurs, encourage them. Success makes you complacent, but failure is a great teacher. So failure teaches you many lessons in your life. So how you encourage the failed entrepreneurs, so they turn their failure into another successful enterprise. I think that is the key lessons, that is the inspirations for all the entrepreneurs who are students who are watching this show. And invent and make in India, I think Prime Minister's slogan, that paradigm shift, that you not only that you should do something here also, I think it is very important to invent and also make in India. The Stanford University, I guess it was one of the, again, another good example also, how do you create, when somebody challenges your limit, then how you rise to the occasion and how you bounce back, and how the institution becomes a store powerhouse of talent and entrepreneurs, ideas, and turning those ideas into successful ventures. So I can go on and on. I think the cultural transformation, I think the entire Gujarat, I think all of us we were wondering all along how come Gujarat evolved as a success story. I think this cultural transformation, the small island of success, small success, they have added to this entire momentum or the entire ocean. So little drops here and there, the students, inspiring students to become more entrepreneurs, wealth creator than job seekers. I think that is one great lessons I think we need to learn in Odisha also. I think this is a time where we should also look at our home state, I guess. So definitely, I think Hiranmaya, the way you handle the questions with a lot of clarity, with a lot of sense of humor and sense of your presence of mind, it was just brilliant and inspirational.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving a chance.
All the audience watching the session, I think they have a lot of takeaways, they have a lot of inspirations. I must thank also, I think Sangeeta Mahapatras is a successful entrepreneur also. I think she also narrated her story. I think all of us, at OCF, we are very thankful and grateful to you for sharing your knowledge and insights and experience and life lessons in this interesting forum. And we look forward to interacting with you more and more. I think we look forward to learning more and more from you. And
Thank you, sir. I just want to add one point. So it's not about just Orissa. I believe that every state has that mindset, and not just in India, but even outside India. I have interacted and I have, whatever I've traveled across and seen, business is something which people actually think, should I let my child get into business or not? And when I took this plunge into garments, well, I'm still in IT, because IT is that's like a kida that gets into your blood, right? So when you work in IT for so long, so when I moved into garments, I had lot of people telling me to 90 pass out hey distinction kiri silei koribu to eta koribu to seta koribu, that kind of talks. And that bolo, you just stay in the kitchen. I said okay. So today I don't even know S of stitching. If you ask me to put a button, I don't know how to put a button. I don't even know how to put a thread inside the needle. Trust me, I cannot do that.
Okay.
I don't cut. I don't even touch the scissors out here. If I have to cut something, I call my designer, can you please cut it? I don't know. I'm going to destroy it if I cut it off. So, seriously, I don't know. And I am speaking with my doors open, because the entire team knows that man doesn't know anything about it. But if you put a garment in front of me, I'll tell you I reject it or I pass it, just looking at the quality. So a lot of homework was done. I would have walked for around 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers, just walking around to see how this industry works, how I'm going to learn it, digest it, and work towards it. So, ओडो टाड़िया पे खूब सारा लोक रास्ता रे मिलते बट केते की सुना जाए नबार अछि आ केते की नुहे सिर्फ निज उपरे थाए कि मोटा नेबी की नेबे ने जदी यू नो not everything should be taken. Even I'm sure कि हमें आज जो 2 hours session भी एबे बसिचे, I'm sure out of many of these participants who are there, they would have probably taken 30 to 45% of what we have spoken. Rest all, you know, they will not take it because they want to create a history. They want to create a history. So they want to do what their gut says. We are here as enablers, but we are not here that to follow us. We are just enabling media. And I think that, you know,
Right.
that's how like, so when Hiranmay says all that, I said everyone has a story to speak and a journey to talk about, a journey to relish, enjoy, and entrepreneurship is very tiring, but it's the thing to go for. Yeah.
I just want to add, I will take 30 seconds if I am allowed. Uh, the, what you said, Sangeeta, that about the Konkada Niti kind of pulling down.
I didn't want to use that word.
Just a minute. We are going different. During this courts are closed now that virtual courts I am appearing. So it gave me lot of time, travel time saved, parking time saved. So we have a WhatsApp group, Odisha Positive. I made it a website. So Odisha Positive, www.odishapositive.org. We are connecting Odisha Society, Singapore, Australia, Canada, Myanmar, and we are connecting. So anybody investing, anybody connecting to a facilitator, a aggregator. So we'll, although I am a member of OCF, so we look forward how to network, like they have a community website. So there is a Garje Maratha, there is a website. So mentor, mentee, kind of things we are, OCF is doing wonderful thing, and we Odisha Positive we also like to join. I am the founder, so I want to tell about that we can join and hands and we can take it in a bigger thing, dream big. Thank you.
So I thank one and all. हमारा OCF टीम को धन्यवाद दूची, स्पेशली हमारा जो पिला माने आज जॉइन करचंती to motivate them. I thank Agrivision, Mr. Chandi Prasad Suwar ji. Heads up. Besides हमारा Rasmi Ranjan from Kalikot College रो, हमारा Vignan रो Arnab Panda ji. Likely हमारा student coordinators, mentors college रा से माने सब बहुत सहयोग करचंती. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. Thank you, so Rath sir. Shall we end the session with this?
Thank you, sir. Namaste.
आज समस्त बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.